And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studios from Harvest Ministries, Mark Green back with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing
Morning,
today?
Mike. I'm great, thanks.
Good and well. How's things at the ministry there? Things going
They're
pretty
going
steady?
good, yeah.
It's a pretty well-oiled machine over there at Harvest
It
Ministries.
is. We have a few glitches now and then, which we just had this last month. Actually, last 3 months. But,
Well, I'm about to say, I think everyone in southeast New Mexico, if you hadn't had a glitch or two over the last 6 months you're here, you're doing pretty good.
Especially with the winds we've just had.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, that's how does, we talk about cold weather and we talk about that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but when we get these dust storms, how does that, I imagine that creates an equal impact on the homeless community as a cold night
sure.
or any other thing.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, so this time of year, we have home church every Sunday morning for the homeless. So we feed them a hot breakfast. It's actually potluck. So we have different people bring. Somebody bring the biscuits and somebody else the
All
dessert.
delicious home cooked food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll get out the griddle and we'll cook them eggs and bacon and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we do that every Sunday morning for them. During the winter, it's kind of hard because if they're bundled down and it's freezing cold, and we have it at 8:30, we've learned if we have it later, they've kind of gotten up and scattered out sometimes.
You missed the audience
We
window.
did, yeah. So when the sun's up, they're pretty much up. And then also, so all of our volunteers go to other churches. So our volunteers are from all different churches all over town. And so we have it at 8:30. So we go from 8:30, and by the time 9:30, we're all cleaned up and ready to go, and everybody can go back to their own church.
Sure.
But during the winter, you never know whether to plan for 5 or 25. Because on those cold mornings, if they're bundled down somewhere, they don't want to get out sometimes. So
I imagine there's two mindsets: either the hunker down, or I need to get moving to warm up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you don't know which mindset they're going to
so
be in.
it could be whatever they feel like at that particular moment.
Right.
So,
So it's really hard to plan for food
Yeah.
during the winter. But when you come to the spring, summer, fall again, it's going to be more consistent,
Sure.
and they'll get out. And but we have learned, if it's high wind, I don't know if that's worse than cold, because when it's a high windy morning, they will not come out.
Interesting. I guess you find your sheltered place.
Yeah.
And it's just it's kind of like I'm a kind of a fan of those like survival shows where people go out in survival, and people that do that kind of thing. There's different schools of thought on that. One of them is gather as much food as possible. Others, they use the mindset of I don't gather as much, but I don't use as much, and so I do minimal movement, minimal things to conserve energy, to conserve. So I'm going to guess they kind of use a mindset like that.
There's different ones, just like you said. So you'll see the people that are pushing around a grocery cart full of all of their stuff, and that's their mobile house. They take it with them everywhere they go.
And you'll see them up and down.
As a matter of fact, remind me to tell you something about grocery carts. But yeah, and so they carry everything they have. And others will try to stash it, but if you stash it, somebody else may find it.
Sure.
And so there are others that have the mindset they always travel as light as they can.
Sure.
So even if you're going to give them something that would help them, if it's going to be weight,
Too cumbersome?
They'll say no thanks.
Or if they got to commit a bunch of effort to protect it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like you said, because especially if they're staying in some of the homeless camps and things, there is a hierarchy in their own kind of form of government there.
Yeah.
That being said, it is a bit of take if you want something and you need it, you take it, and you got to protect it if you want it. That kind of thing.
And they really are a community within a community. They actually help each other out a lot. It's pretty amazing. They do.
Absolutely, yeah. I imagine you'd be amazed at how communal it is over there. And I mean, once and this is why we always say what we say. If you want to help with community and help with homeless and get involved, partner through organizations like Harvest Ministries and things, because I get people want to just pay things forward, and I understand that. But if you're not prepared or equipped to go into the homeless camps or known to the homeless community, you're going to have a difficult time navigating that. Right. That's why if you use portals, for lack of a better term, like Harvest Ministries, and you really want to get in there, let people that have already kind of made headway in there bring you into the fold, so you come in as a trusted person that they can rely on for help and support, as opposed to someone that might have other ideas.
Yeah, and so Mike, we want to help them get off the streets. That's our goal.
That's the main goal.
Yeah, we don't want to just feed them for today. our motto you see on the side of our truck is hope for today, healing for tomorrow. So
Sure.
today, give them the hope that they need. Okay, it's going to be okay today, but try to help them get healing.
Absolutely.
So that tomorrow they're better off.
Yeah, the at the end of the day, the sandwiches, the blankets, that's the Band-Aid.
It is.
We
yeah.
use that as the peace offering to come in, and then you can establish a relationship, and then you can start the healing process. That's where you can
just
say,
had a lady come in yesterday, been working with her since the flood. So she wasn't homeless until the flood, but then she lost her apartment, and then she didn't have, because all of the rents they've gone sky high.
Sure.
So if you lose your lease, the next time you're going to try to sign a lease, it's going to be, it's going to be $200, $300,
Absolutely.
$400, $500 more.
It is the world in which we live in.
And so I was notified of a lady who was living in her car at Walmart. So went out there and we helped her get into a hotel, I think, for a couple of months, and worked with Casa and Alianza and some of the others to try to get her on the system. And just yesterday came in, I was able to get her a letter verifying that she's homeless, and so they're going to work with her to get housing. So that's what we want to do, find them where they are.
Absolutely.
Work with the other agencies that can work with us, coordinate with us, and they want to coordinate with us because we know them. They say, do you know them? Are they truly homeless? What is your relationship with them? How have you helped them?
It just makes me laugh that you got to have a letter to say you're homeless.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
It seems wild, but I guess, in government,
it is, yeah.
It's how the thing moves.
I have to have a certified letter that says that they're homeless, they're clients of ours, we've been working with them, and that's...
You have to vouch for them, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they can get a free birth certificate from the county here if they're homeless, and also their driver's license. So I used to pay $10 every time, I would try to help somebody get their ID, and they finally said, hey, you know what? If they're homeless, excuse me, you don't have to pay. Just give us a letter verifying you're homeless.
That's cool. That's great.
So, yeah, I have to get it notarized. That's $5. So there's half the $10.
So that's worth this because that's their way of trying to help out as best they can.
It is, yeah. And so these organizations.
It sounds weird, but no, that's government. Everything's got to be verified and proved,
right,
as it should be.
Right, and we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We want to help them for today, but we want to help them get off the streets. And also get them into the Homeless Coalition because Ms. Yasmin over there does an amazing job helping them get to the place they need to be. They save their money, they open a bank account, they do all of this kind of stuff.
Create a foundation for them.
Yeah, and then we work with them to get their ID, and then once they've got that, at least they've got something to build on.
Absolutely.
Without an ID, you can't get a job, you can't get an apartment, you can't get benefits.
You don't exist.
You don't exist. Yeah. So we help them get not just their ID, we help them get their identity back.
And this is why we say partner through Harvest Ministries.
Exactly,
because we really have, we have overwhelming needs, overwhelming just priorities that have to be taken care of here. However, I believe through Harvest Ministries, through some of these the Homeless Coalition, the Hive, and things that are going on in town here, we've got a good network to start the process. And I think this is one of these things where I get people want to do the thing and help out on their own and go, let's work together to consolidate resources, because if all of us are running around trying to gather the same things in different, it's kind of counterproductive. So
it is.
So let's partner together, funnel through Harvest Ministries. Say, all right, let's coordinate. All right, you guys are working on this. We'll focus on this.
Yeah.
And trust me, this is the only way we're going to make a good enough dent to make this not a problem anymore.
Right, and there's always going to be
you can't make it go away completely.
But the more people we get off the streets, the better for them and the better for our community.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we're working for. One of the things too that we do try to help them with sleeping bags. That means they're going to sleep on the sidewalk somewhere. Yeah, probably they're going to sleep there anyway.
But they live through the night.
The difference is, they're not going to freeze to death at night.
Not going to be a popsicle when they wake up in the morning.
And they steal people's golf carts. Not golf carts. They probably could if they would. No.
Shopping carts.
Shopping carts, yeah, shopping carts.
That's the highfalutin.
I actually did have my golf cart stolen one time. Interesting story
I feel
there.
like you're not going to keep that very
That
long.
was actually in New Jersey when I was a chaplain at a racetrack in New Jersey. And so I told some of my Italian mafia buddies, hey, my golf cart got stolen. They came back and said, hey, we found out where your golf cart is. We told them they can either give you the money back, give you the golf cart back, or we'll let our friends take care of them. And I got my golf cart back. So.
Sometimes the neighborhood takes care of things.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't ask for anything. I just shared.
That's right.
But anyway, I did get my golf cart stolen. But I'm talking about shopping carts. So when Big Lots went out of business, we said, well, let's go see what kind of equipment, shelving, and stuff like that that we need.
Maybe find some use out of it.
Yeah, and we did got some pallet jacks and things like that. But they were selling all their shopping carts as well. We thought, you know what? For some of these people that we work with all the time.
Sure, rather than steal them from stores.
Right. We'll say, okay, you know what? You work with us and we'll work with you. Let us help you out. We'll loan you a shopping cart. You don't have to steal one. You can, whatever.
Kind of like those scooters around.
Yeah. So we bought most of their shopping carts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And especially the little cute ones. They've just got a little shelf on them.
Yeah, you can put like 3 or 4 things in it. Yeah.
Perfect little things. So we bought, I think, 15 of those, and then about, I don't know. We bought most of the other shopping carts. Okay. So then when we went to pick them up, the manager said, Pastor, I'm sorry, but people stole every one of those little shopping carts. He said people kept asking us if we could buy them. And we said, no, they're already sold, because we bought them, but we had to let them keep using them until the store closed.
They needed the business to run.
And he said, we kept telling people, no, they're sold. But he said people would take their stuff out and throw them in their SUV, throw them in the back of their truck, and drive off with them.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. So if you know somebody that has a little shopping cart from Big Lots, the rightful owner is Harvest Ministries. All right.
No questions asked. Just bring them all
by.
Just
bring them back. We
could really use them.
They tried to compensate by giving us some other stuff we didn't need, but that's what we needed.
Well, it's nice that they at least.
He said, "Well, I hope you can find them."
Sure.
So anyway, if you know of anyone that's got a small shopping cart from Big Lots, it belongs to Harvest Ministries.
I'm pretty sure they got the logo Big Lots.
Yeah, they do. Please ask them to bring it back to us. So.
Yeah.
But we did get to keep some of the big ones. So
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you got them just.
Or if you know someone, you might suggest, hey, that's really stolen property right there.
Yeah, you're
and it's not stolen from a store; it's stolen from a church.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit that you're taking from now.
Right.
This is something this is going to go to someone less fortunate than you.
Right.
No questions asked. Just go and just bring them on to buy or whatever. Even if they just magically show up at the front door one day, I guess that'd be all right too.
I don't care how it gets back. I would be happy to have them back.
You don't have any Italian friends around town, do you?
That was who I worked for.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Actually, and they're always good to their pastors. They're good to their own people.
Absolutely.
So they were very, very good to me. No, they were really great people.
That's
but
awesome.
They had connections to ways of getting things back. But anyway, no, I don't want to go down that road.
Sure,
here,
but if someone's listening or knows someone, that would be helpful.
It would be very nice to get those cards back. Yeah.
But that being said, we are looking for volunteers.
Yes.
Like we were talking earlier, but we need folks to help run the day-to-day operations at the ministry as well, or at the shelter, all the stuff.
Right. We do need volunteers, and we've always had a great base of volunteers, but like I said last time, a lot of our volunteers are in their 70s, 80s.
They've been doing this for
90s,
20 plus years and
20 years.
Yeah.
Some of them have been here for 20 years.
I imagine I don't think you have any original.
We do.
Oh, is there one like an OJ from the very beginning?
We have 2 original, Alberta and Tarleton Curry. Those 2 are awesome. They're
That's
most
amazing.
wonderful people, and they've been volunteering for 20 years. They've been there since the beginning.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to take a stab. You need some younger backs, people that can move heavy things, so these poor folks don't have to be doing that all.
You're exactly right. So when we're unloading a pallet, and each one of those boxes weighs 40 to 60 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
When you're my age, I'll be 70 here in a couple of years. So it's you think twice. I always do.
By the way, I would have never guessed you're near 70. I would have. I've been about 15 to 20 years.
Thank you very much. So no, I always do the lift test.
Yeah.
I pull on it, I lift it up, and I think, should I or shouldn't I?
Right.
If it's the shouldn't I just put it back down and try to get somebody else to help me with it or get it. But yes, we do need younger people. Even when I was in my 40s, I could still do everything I could do in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hit 50, as people say, the check engine light comes on.
That's exactly where I'm at right now. Where I have in my head.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
You can do it.
Until I do it, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's where I'm at in life.
Then you get in your 60s, you think, no, I'm not even going to try. I would love to snow ski, but I don't dare. You know,
That's right.
my knee, my back, it's just not worth it. So anyway, yeah, we need some people. You know, we need some people in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 20s.
Absolutely.
But to come in and help us stock
Families
some
would be
shelves.
great.
Oh yeah,
We love families coming
in the
in.
summer. We do have families who come out and volunteer, and we love that.
Absolutely.
And
but maybe there's I don't know. Maybe there's a few homeschool families. We incorporate some of that in your curriculum.
Absolutely. And we do have homeschool families from time to time who come out and volunteer.
All would love to. Anytime we can instill the server's heart in young folks and have opportunities to do that, love to do that, because when you show them this now, more likely when they are on their own and doing their things, they're going to be doing stuff just like that wherever they end up.
Yeah.
So we wanted and let's face it, maybe they're the next one. Maybe they're the next that are going to be the next 20, 30-year volunteers here.
Right.
And so, and I imagine you need from, kind of stocking and the organizing stuff to more of the outreach type stuff too.
Yeah, we need both. We have people who take the groceries out to the cars. We have people who receive the groceries when the truck comes in, and we stock our shelves. We load them into the freezers and the coolers, and then we have people who sort. We have people who go through because we have to do first in, first out. So we look at all the dates. And then we have people who repack. So if we get bulk items, we have to repack them in smaller items. And we've got a repack room that's a safe, clean room. And so that's where we repack all the stuff. And then we have people who serve breakfast to the homeless every morning.
Nice.
And so, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to do. So if you like the one-on-one FaceTime with the homeless or with the clients, and a lot of people do. They really, they want to have interaction.
Want to meet people and talk to people and interact. Yeah.
We need people to do that. We need people just to go out among our clients when they're eating breakfast and say, "Hey, can I get you something else?
Sure.
Get you another cup of coffee or something like that?" And just really, we just want to treat them like normal, like they're at a restaurant somewhere, and we're just going to love on them. How can we serve you and bless you? Because you build rapport with them, you build up confidence with them. And then they'll trust you to help them.
Absolutely. What you're doing secretly is tearing down walls.
Hey, exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Exactly what we want to do.
You're bringing love and kindness and humanity to people that, quite frankly, are having a lack of that probably at this point in their lives right now.
You know, there's a gentleman that I helped with a bus ticket this week because he was staying at the Homeless Coalition, but he just couldn't do it. Couldn't keep the curfew, couldn't stay inside the four walls. And he said, I don't know how old the guy is. I think he's probably in his 60s or 70s, maybe 60s probably. But he said, I just can't do it. I said, I said, where are you going to stay? He said, out here in the street in the cold. I said, well, why? He said, I just can't stay in that place. I said, well, it's a nice place, nice people. He said, I can't stay inside. I need to get out when I need to get out. So he can't keep curfew, which, when they lock the door at night and the curfew is until 6 o'clock. And if you go out, then you set the alarm off and it's a big deal. And so he had gone out, set the alarm off at 2 o'clock in the morning and that sort of thing. So we try to help people, but sometimes they just can't, for whatever reason, they can't stay inside. So there are always going to be those kind of people that it's going to be a perpetual thing that we're always going to be helping them. So, he's been, the Community of Hope helps him in Las Cruces when he's over there. Actually, this is another situation where we get this all the time. People are flown in here for medical purposes, either the helicopter or the plane. In his case, he came on the plane, ambulance picked him up at the airport out here, brought him to the hospital. They treated him, released him back on the streets. He's got nowhere to go, got no money to get home, doesn't know anybody here. So
what he really needs is medical help.
He needed that. Yeah, he got
But
that.
he probably sounds like maybe not Band-Aids and stuff. It sounds like he needs a lot of mental therapy help. And
he did.
Because clearly there's something going on where he can't be inside. And there's some trauma, there's some experiences there that he needs to address.
Yeah. And you talk about tearing down walls. That's the kind of, he can't stay inside walls.
Yeah.
And so, but man, when some of the people have gone through what these people have gone through, you hear their stories and talk to them. And when they finally open up to you, think, well, dear Jesus, there's no wonder they are where they are. They hadn't had a chance their whole life. They have been beat up from the time they were kids, passed around from house to house, living on the streets. That's the only thing they know.
That's right.
And man, if you can just get them to open up enough to say, let me help you see what a normal life is like. Let's get you in the Homeless Coalition.
Absolutely.
Let's get you a job. Let's get you an ID. Let's let you see what it's like just to not have to struggle every single day of your life just to think, what am I going to eat today? Where am I going to stay tonight? Who's going to beat me up tonight? Who's going to rob me? That sort of thing. Just just to be able to live a normal life.
Most of us don't realize, especially I'm going to say people listening right now, how blessed we are in our lives
We are,
and the things we
absolutely.
and sometimes it takes a whole lifetime to learn it, but we all aren't dealt the same deck of cards when we're brought
true.
into this earth.
Yeah.
You know, not all of us are handed the straight flush. Most of us get a you know, and so that's where you have to, regardless of what you think of what people and did, and I'm sure, yes, people need to be responsible for actions. I'm not saying, you know, everyone gets passes and things.
Of course, yeah.
But
well, you don't help them. You don't help them if you give them passes for doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You just reward their bad choices with temporary consequences that are not realistic.
Absolutely. But to judge someone based on what their lifestyle is, none of us have that right.
You have no idea what they've been through.
None of us have that right, because none of us have walked in those shoes. Even if you've walked in hard shoes and you've done your thing, it wasn't that person's struggle.
Right.
And quite frankly, they may have started from a different point than you. Maybe you had a good home life and everything, and this person may not. If you don't know from the beginning, like, how do you know right from wrong if someone doesn't teach you?
That's true, yeah.
You don't know. You just put on this earth.
For them, right is whatever I have to do to survive, you know? Yeah.
And so that's the mindset I want people to think about when you look at the home. Next time you see someone on the street corner there do something, and I know it's easy to judge, and I get it, your own safety, and if you're with your kids, you're like, no, I don't want, and I get all that. But don't look at them as pariah. Don't look at that. They're just humans that need that. At the end of the day, if you sat down and had a cup of coffee with one of them, you'd probably have an enlightening discussion that you'd probably come away with more than you walked in with.
Yeah,
I would guarantee
that's true.
that.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy sitting down. I did that with this gentleman yesterday. Just sat out there on the curb with him and talked to him. So, what's your story? Where are you from? How'd you end up here? And you know, that's that sort of thing. You just find out what's going on in their life. You know, just let them know somebody really cares.
Yeah, and that's
you know, we want to tell them, go get a job, go do this. I'm telling you, Mike, I wouldn't hire most of them. You can't hire them. They're a liability. The drug addiction problem, alcohol addiction.
First.
Yeah, exactly. Emotional problems. Let's get you fixed first. Let's get you just in a right mind where it's not the drugs talking or the alcohol talking or even the street talking,
Absolutely.
but get you off of the street for a while, get you out of the drugs, out of the alcohol situation, and find out who you really are. And then let's get you an ID, and then let's get you a job. And so many of those people, you know, it works out, Mike. It really does. If
Absolutely.
you just can get somebody to where they can just breathe, sleep through a whole night, you know, in a regular bed, have a regular meal, have a regular life, and all of a sudden they think, you know what, I like this. I think I want to live this way.
It's I'm guessing it's really hard for people that have never had to live that. Like, if you never had to live your life to where you were constantly worried about basic needs or survival or things. I'm not talking neighbor squabbles and so this. I'm talking like I legit do not know if I'm going to make it through the night here because I don't know how cold it is. I mean, and when you're constantly doing that day, and then when you get through that one, you're just planning for the next one. You know, and like you said, if you just have a moment where for a half a second you're not worried about where you're going to eat tonight, what you're going to eat tonight, where you're going to stay tonight, who's going to attack me tonight, whatever fears that, you know, that goes out there, that I'm telling you that your brain, the human brain, does amazing things to protect you from the most awful stuff and all that thing. And really, that's the thing. These folks' brains have been built creating the walls, creating the self-defense mechanisms, everything they can to survive.
And Mike, you know what it's like when you have a sleepless night. You know, you wake up at 1 o'clock and you look at the clock, you think, oh, I got to go to sleep. And it's 4 o'clock and you're still, you know, maybe I can get 2 hours of sleep left. You know, you end up getting 2 or 3 hours sleep. That next day, you're in a fog all day, right? Your mind, you're not thinking clearly, you're not sharp. Imagine living that way 365 days a year. You know, it's no wonder that they can't think right. Get them off the streets, get them in the homeless coalition, let them have a regular night's sleep, and then wake up the next morning and think, hey, I can think a little clearly today. Yeah.
And this is where, but this leads to the other stuff. So when they're saying, well, they're drug addicts, they're alcohol. Well, guess what? You know why they got that way?
Yeah.
More than likely, it's because they're dealing with this. And the brain, Well,
they want to medicate themselves.
They want to feel better. And guess what? The drug made them feel better, even if it was for 30 minutes.
And if they weren't on drugs or alcohol before they were on the streets, if they've been on the streets for a year or so, I guarantee you they're on drugs and alcohol now because they have tried so hard to medicate their pain.
Almost the only way to survive at that
exactly.
point, unless they got some kind of constitution that is unhuman.
But there's hope. There's hope. We help get them off the streets. We help feed them every day. We love them. We give them the love of God. We tell them that God can change their life, give them a new beginning, give them a fresh start.
And tear down the walls.
That's right. And so that's what we do every day. That's why I love what I do at Harvest Ministries. I really do. And what's better than that? You go to work every day and you love God and you love people and you feed the hungry.
You see hard stories every single day, but you also see the successes every day.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where, ain't going to lie, volunteering there is going to probably run the emotional gamut, but I'm going to take a stab. At the end of the day, there's more happy tears than sad tears.
It is. It's good when you finish the day and you think, okay, we've done what God called us to do today. Yeah. And also, like, this has just happened this last week. So here's something else I need to say before we run out of time, and that is that we needed to put new flooring down in Harvest. Our carpet was 15 years old, and it's had a lot of
you guys will use
a lot of
to
kind of heavy traffic on it, and so we're going to replace the carpet. But in the back of our freight room had big cracks in the concrete, and every time the environment will come in and they'll check us for everything, we always pass.
I want to ding you on that.
Yeah, we always pass with flying colors, except they always say, you can't clean this floor properly with all those cracks in it. So we said, okay, let's bite the bullet and get it fixed. So we were supposed to be able to do half of the building, seal it off, and they were going to do half the building, and then we'd do the other half of the building without. That way we could do it without closing. Mm-hmm. But when they got in there, we thought, you know what, this chemical they're going to be using to do the floors, we really can't be in the building. And then another issue came up, and they said, now we're going to have to do there's some problem with the concrete. We're going to have another company come in. We actually had to be shut down for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so people are saying, hey, Harvest is closing their doors. They're going out of business.
Not for good.
We are not going out of business. So we never stopped working. We kept picking up from the grocery stores and from all of our.
So you guys went remote for 3 weeks.
So what we did then was everything that we picked up, we distributed to the other agencies here in town who were giving food out, and we continue feeding the homeless every morning. So we kept feeding the homeless out of the chapel in the back, and we kept distributing food to the other agencies who were distributing food. So we didn't stop working, and we didn't stop distributing food. We just stopped opening our doors for food distribution.
Gotcha. The building wasn't available, but the ministry was going.
Right. So we basically had to vacate the building for three weeks. And so we went straight from the truck to the other agencies, or from the truck to what we needed. We actually prepared for the homeless before this ever happened. But just to let everybody know, we are in good shape. Matter of fact, we're in better shape than we were.
Floor's nice and
brand new. And shout out to Liberty Coating and Justin Owen. They did an amazing job. Good. Brandon Arnold at Custom Construction. Those guys worked a couple of nights. They worked till 9 o'clock at night to try to get this finished so we could get open. I mean, that's
awesome.
They really busted it to try to work with us, get everything done. Sure. So those guys were awesome. Their business did an amazing job. So
they understood the importance of the mission.
They did. Yeah. So we're open, ready to go, and receiving clients. And we never have been shut down. We just diverted everything for a while.
We just had to turn out the light at the building for a minute.
We did. But the trucks kept running, and the homeless kept being fed.
And that's something too we haven't talked about in this conversation. But Harvest Ministries is kind of the distributor for other food organizations. When you hear the Roadrunner food banks and all that, they come to Harvest to bring that stuff, and they dole it out to the other agencies and stuff.
Right. So we're the hub for distribution for Chaves County for Roadrunner.
Yep.
So we distribute to any of the other Roadrunner agencies that give out food. They get from Roadrunner. They also get from us from the what we pick up from local stores and all of that.
Gotcha.
So we distribute that to them as well.
You get from them, but also add to the add to the list a little bit.
Almost half of what we get in goes out to other agencies. About half goes out to all of our clients.
And all stays here in Chaves County feeding folks. And
you'd
be amazed the amounts of food that come in and goes out as quick as it comes in.
Yeah, this last year we were, I forget. I don't have the figures right in front of me, but we're over 900,000, so we're close to 1 million pounds last year.
Usually in the beginning or end of the year we talk about
statistics. Yeah, right.
But
I'm 3 months into it, so I've forgotten. But it was. I know this year we were just short of 1 million pounds.
Good deal.
Yeah.
it's good and bad. It's great the food's there, but it's bad that needs that great. But,
yeah. And also we've got our letter carriers food drive coming up on the 10th of May.
so that's usually around the May time frame.
So that's month and a half away just to put the bug in everybody's ear.
We'll be back and talking about that here.
Yeah.
But please, I guess if folks are interested in volunteering, what's probably the best way to reach out to you?
They can either call us, 624-2415, 575, and or they can on Facebook send us a message on our Facebook page,
just under Harvest Ministries,
or on our website. Yeah, it's Harvest Ministries of Roswell. Yep.
Yeah, and you can Google that; it comes right up, or Harvest Ministries.
Or call us, or come by. Just stop by if you want to stop by. We'll give you. We do this all the time. We'll give you a tour of the building, show you everything that we do, and say, hey, you see somewhere here you could fit in? We'd love to have you.
Yeah, we're right on Main Street. If you're not familiar, what's the actual physical address?
601 North Main.
There you go.
Yeah,
two blocks from where we're at right now.
2 blocks north of the courthouse, and we can see it out this window right here.
You can't miss it. It'll be right there. If you're heading north, it'll be there on your right. If you're going south, it'll be on your left. Mark, did we cover enough for now, or do we got? I'm sure we always got more to talk about.
Yeah, I think we can.
But folks, if you've got the time and the ability, we would love to have you, even if it's for a couple hours a week or whatever time you're willing to offer. We would love to have it. And trust me, I think once you see everything going and see what Harvest Ministry does, I think you're going to be impressed, and you're going to be like, man, what else can we do to make this better? So please reach out. We would love to see you'd be amazed to see the good heart that Roswell has, and you'll see it through minutes.
Mike, one more thing. The reason that we have some people who've been there for 20 years and others who've been there for 10 years, 15 years is because Harvest Ministries is a great place to volunteer. Yeah. It's just that a lot of our people have gotten to the age where they can't do it all the time.
We can't stop the time marches on.
No, people come in early, they get a cup of coffee, they sit around and talk until we start working, then everybody jumps in. It is a fun, wonderful place to work at. And if you're looking for some place to jump in, I mean, come try Harvest. I have no doubt that you'll enjoy it.
I about to say, if you're looking to expand your social circles and things, you might you come in looking to help, come out looking to feed your own soul a little bit.
Yeah.
So. Well, Mark, as always,
thanks again, Mike.
Visit. We'll see you here probably in about a month or so, or a little less here, as we talk about the postal carrier stuff. But folks, reach out, and every time you see folks out there with the homeless and stuff, think about how you can help in different ways. Don't not handing the money in the street corners. Working through organizations like Harvest Ministries is the way to go. So, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, it is 8:53. Let's pause for news and some stock report and some commercials. Don't go away.
number three, he is a patriot. That's why he's doing this.
There has been talk of Musk leaving the administration in the coming months. Parts of the Midwest and the South threatened with torrential rains and life-threatening flash flooding. The fresh storms come as many communities are still reeling from tornadoes that destroyed entire neighborhoods and killed at least 7 people. 3 members of a family struck and killed by an Amtrak train, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, last evening. South Korea's highest court has removed the country's impeached president, Yoon Suk-yeol, from office. The action sets the stage for elections within 2 months. And watching Wall Street this morning, the Dow is down 1,068 points. The Nasdaq off 487. The S&P 158 points in the red. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
2.
The Gaza war grinds on as Israel turns up the heat on Hamas. The Israelis trying to force the terrorists to release the remaining hostages that they're still holding.
Israel says it struck a Hamas command and control center in northern Gaza. AP cameras were outside a Gaza City hospital as ambulances arrived carrying injured people and bodies wrapped in blankets. Streams of residents were moving from northern Gaza to the west and south after the Israeli military warned that it planned to work with extreme force during ground operations there. Israeli forces have been expanding their strikes and evacuation orders in recent days. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says they are establishing a new security corridor across Gaza to pressure Hamas, suggesting they will cut off the southern city of Rafah. I'm Jennifer King.
Britain and France are accusing Russian President Vladimir Putin of procrastinating over the Ukraine ceasefire talks. They're ramping up the pressure on Moscow, insisting that he owes the U.S. an immediate answer. News and analysis, townhall.com. More accusers are bringing claims against childhood psychiatric and juvenile detention facilities in New Jersey.
The number of lawsuits alleging sexual assaults and other abuse at 2 now closed state-run child treatment centers in New Jersey has risen to 150 after 2 more were filed this week. 2 lawsuits involving 16 people were filed Thursday in Superior Court in Monmouth and Somerset counties. The victims' names have been withheld. They're seeking damages stemming from alleged abuse at the former Arthur Brisbane Treatment Center and the training school at Skillman. Both centers have been shuttered for decades. New Jersey's overhauled statute of limitations allows child victims of sexual abuse to sue until they turn 55 or within 7 years of their first realization that the abuse caused them harm. I'm Lisa Adams Wagner.
Attorneys for a Maryland man he was mistakenly deported to El Salvador will be asking a federal judge to order his return to the U.S. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, we're ringing through it. Flamenco guitar, the cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Ah, yes.
Some moist, rainy,
glorious,
chillier Friday.
It's nice. The rain's sort of like subsided a little bit. It's just wet. Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact about baseball and softball, that's the only negative I'm thinking about the next 2 days of weather. Everything else I'm kind of excited about.
Any outdoor festivals I think we're...
Not that I'm aware of.
Right.
But anything outdoors, yeah, I'd be bummed to miss that because it is a Saturday. And you know, baseball, and it's really hard to make those games up because they crowbar a lot of baseball and softball in really a short amount of time. And to be honest, I know it's New Mexico. It is what it is. But like our windiest time of the year is usually baseball season for high school sports and softballs. And so it's like, man, they try to crowbar as many games, but there's not a whole lot of time to make them up either. And invariably, they're always going to lose a game or two because of some kind of weather.
This is why we need, and I've said this, for a while, that we need in our area a venue, like a stadium.
Oh,
I'm thinking like a indoorish baseball stadium.
Okay.
Essentially, you
well,
do
it'd have to be a
concerts and events there.
It'd have to be multi. You could.
Well, sure.
But I would even for sports too.
Yeah.
Like, I would make it football, baseball. Kind of like
something with walls, essentially.
70s Astrodome, but not nearly as big.
Doesn't have to have like a roof per se. It'd be nice.
Well, I mean, if you're going to make it available for, for inclement weather, it's going to need a roof.
No, I'm thinking like something that we can like roll out, like a dome.
I've been to like it's possible. Like I know it sounds like oh my gosh, what are you thinking? This isn't the NFL or whatever. But like I remember several years ago, Gene and I called a JUCO bowl game when the Broncos got into it, and the game was in Yuma, Arizona. And we played in the dome there, the college dome. Now it's not like the Astrodome where it seats 50,000 people,
right.
But it had a nice roof. It was a 2-layer deal, and it had multi-purpose to do other things in it, and it was pretty nice. I was like, man, this is pretty nice for and this was a junior college stadium, but I could easily see Roswell supporting something like
Absolutely.
that, where you could definitely do, or South most places, but we got a lot of other fish to fry at the moment. But yes, weekends like this, you're like, man, it'd be nice to have something like that, right? But we don't. So.
Then again, it's part of the training process is kids trained to play in, whatever inclement weather might come up, especially in the wind around here. I'm sure that's added into, the training and how to play in high winds.
Yeah. Well, problem is
how to bat into the wind, how to bat against it,
And they will play a little bit in the rain and stuff. The field conditions are a part of that. But obviously, the moment thunder and lightning hits, they're standing there, most of them with aluminum bats. Not the best thing to be holding in a thunderstorm.
Right. And don't call your shot.
That's right.
Ah!
Well, use your hand, not the bat. But definitely want to make sure that you get your umbrellas and stuff for this weekend, because we're going to have a ton of rain probably. I don't know. It's one of these things where, like, I think we're making it bigger in our head than it has to be. That's probably that's him right there. So
he's going to call in.
Okay.
And add Adrienne to his call.
Okay, very good.
So it'll work.
All right. Well, cool. I'm opened up, but I can't talk to him right now because I'm on the air here. But we're gonna get. I got him opened up here. We'll talk with here in just a minute here. But I'm setting up my interview. Apologize. We got 12 things going on at once. That does happen from time to time around here. But yes, the rain's going to be, from everything I'm hearing, like it's going to be moisture like all day today, tomorrow. And I'm going to take a stab too that if you got leaking issues, this is going to be the day you find out about your roof leaking and all that other. If you haven't already found out this morning when you woke up.
This is how we find out.
Yes. All right, well, let me get the hour going here. I'll give you the rundown. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to get you up to date with the weather. Then shortly thereafter, we're going to be talking about Gypsy Jazz. We're going to have John Amistay join us from the Roswell Jazz Festival. We're also going to have joining us two of our musicians that are going to be part of the Gypsy Jazz night that's going to be happening at the Liberty. That's going to be April 12th, about a week away, at the Liberty. It's going to be a fun night of jazz, of gypsy jazz. If you love, and we were talking earlier when I was kind of last hour about this, and if you're not real familiar with gypsy jazz and if you're a fan of guitar, and I don't care what level it is, what type it is, if you're a rock guitarist or a flamenco guitarist or a classical guitarist, if you're a fan of guitar, this is like the Super Bowl of guitar music to me. It's like it to me listening, and I can't wait to talk with the guys about this, but to me it's like that fusion of where you hear flamenco or classical guitar and it's just so fast and so intricate, and gypsy jazz has a lot of that same similar feel to me. So, but anyway, we're going to talk with John here. We're also going to have Vinny and Adrian. They're two of our musicians that are going to be 2/3 of the great entertainment that will be a part of the night here on the 12th. So we're going to talk with them here in just a little bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with all the newses and all that good stuff, the local variety and the national news and business updates and whatever else we can fit in here for this hour of the show. But let's do this. It is 8:12. Let's go ahead and get you up to date with weather. Then we're going to go right into the commercial break, and then we'll come back here in about 4 minutes on the other side, and we'll have joining us in studio will be John with the Roswell Jazz Festival, and then we're going to have Vinny Raniolo and also Adrian Chevalier join us on the phone as well, two of our musicians you'll get to enjoy on April 12th here. So that's coming up on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have cold front moving through the area today. Showers and thunderstorms, pretty good possibility, mid to upper 50s. Overnight, we'll be getting more rain, our low in the mid to upper 30s, and then a mix of rain and snow showers on Saturday. It'll be a lot colder. Our high stays in the mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny and warmer weather on Sunday. Our high should top out in the mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Your home is your sanctuary, and the land it's built on is even more precious. So when termites start devouring your house, you want a proven treatment that's environmentally responsible. You want the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. The Centricon system is the green way to protect homes from subterranean termites. Rather than surrounding your house with hundreds of gallons of diluted chemical solution, the Centricon system strategically uses just a few grams of active ingredient in termite bait, working with natural termite behavior to destroy termite colonies. With this technology, it's no wonder the Centricon system became the only termite treatment to receive the Presidential Green Chemistry Challenge Award from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And homeowners rate the Centricon system as the most environmentally sound termite treatment. Your home is your sanctuary, so monitor, bait, and eliminate termites with the Centricon system. Think of it as your own little piece on Earth.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344. The Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation salutes hunters in the role they play in providing critical funding for conservation. Celebrate how hunting is conservation at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Annual Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. The Roswell Banquet will take place on April 12th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at rmef.org and go to the New Mexico Events tab. Celebrate hunters at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Roswell Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Hey, Roswell, need a truck? You're in luck. Now is your time to buy a new Ford truck for a lot less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. For a limited time, get massive discounts on every new Ford and quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, plus 0% APR for 72 months and no payments for 90 days. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, so we're taking care of business. Big trucks, small trucks, work trucks, we've got them all for a lot less. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you, regardless of where you're at, for oil changes, tire rotation, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. Massive savings and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APRs 1389 per thousand financing. Choose to cruise from native sale on select vehicles. Straight balance refinanced and loan subject to lender approval. Offers not denied.
Waymaker and Gateway Churches invite you to experience the proof of God's power to save, heal, transform lives, and break addictions. The Gospel Tent Crusade, Saturday, April 12th, beginning at 1 p.m. at Cahoon Park at the intersection of West 5th Street and North Kansas in Roswell. The Gospel Tent Crusade is free and open to everyone, and the first 200 people will receive free food and drinks. Come and find the purpose God has for your life. See you Saturday, April 12th, 1 p.m. at Cahoon Park in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
Or snicker, I don't care. It's your laugh. You do what you want. Good morning. It is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Jazz Festival, of course, John Amistad back with us. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Doing well. How's of course, he made the trek down from Ruidoso this morning. So
yeah, I live in Lincoln. So.
That's right. So he's already been up and at him for the last couple hours here. And then also joining us on the phone this morning, two of our musicians that you're going to be able to enjoy here on April 12th. Which the Roswell Jazz Festival is going to be doing their Gypsy Jazz night at the Liberty here, April 12th. And two of our three musicians you're going to get to enjoy on that night. Joining us on the phone as well, Adrian Chevalier and Vinny Raniolo. Did I nail them on the pronunciations?
Yeah, you said it right. Nice. You just have to use your hands when you say it.
I do. I'm working. You know, I'm a pretty hands guy, but I needed a pen and a paper, so I can't multitask. Well, first off, good morning, gentlemen. Now they're a couple hours east of us here, so back in New York City this morning here, where that's your normal stomping grounds. Where I'm going to take a stab. You guys are pretty much probably in some club playing jazz on a, if not nightly basis, at least 4, 5, 6 nights a week, right?
Yeah, we played last night.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're playing tonight.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah,
so do you normally see 10 a.m. East Coast time? Or are you guys usually asleep by this?
Well, it's better than your 8 a.m. that you have over there. So at least we got a little sleep.
That's true. Fortunately, not in California. Otherwise, you'd be really early right now. So, but
yeah, exactly.
But this is something I was kind of talking with folks here because when I was mentioning, I said if folks, because obviously people. Not a lot of people have a deep knowledge of gypsy jazz or they can't bust out their favorite gypsy jazz tune. But I would like to say that, like, if you're a fan of guitar music, I don't care if it's rock music or classic guitar or flamenco or whatever it is, I feel like gypsy jazz is kind of this fusion of all things guitar. Is that a pretty close comparison?
Yeah, guitar. I think strings in general, with the upright bass and the violin. Yeah, I just think the strumming, the intense. They call it the La Pompe type of strum. The fact that there's no drums, and all the rhythm is created by the guitars and the percussiveness of the attack of the strings. So yeah.
For me, it creates just a whole, don't get me wrong, I like a drum as much as the next guy. But with that, I just feel like you can go in different directions quicker, if that makes sense with music. Does that make sense at all? Like with drumming and stuff, there's always a tone and a beat, and it's always that in music too. But I feel like with your string instruments, your guitars, your bass, you almost can kind of change that up quickly. And does that make sense at all, what I'm trying to say? It just feels like you can follow rules or break rules a lot quicker in gypsy jazz versus other forms of music, if that makes sense.
Yes, we do break rules. That's for sure. Fast tempos, breaks, everything that, I think you kind of hear the nuances of the instruments.
Sure.
A little more, and not to diss any drummers, but I think that when the drummer is playing on the ride cymbal, it kind of gets in the way of certain frequencies that you normally that kind of encompass the string sound. So with the lack of the drums, you definitely have a lot more freedom. For sure, to hear all those little nuances, and that inspires you to do to play a certain way that you wouldn't with the drums. With Gypsy Jazz, when I started playing it, it was kind of like it felt like it was like the bluegrass. Like the way that we have bluegrass here in America.
Yes,
the bluegrass of Europe.
Yes, that's a good. I was trying because I'm listening to him like. Man, I hear like flamenco, and I hear, you know what I mean? That real that classical guitar. You hear a lot of that, and I'm like, you know what? It's like European bluegrass. That makes sense. Where that's absolutely where it kind of like it's bluegrass with an accent.
Yeah, and the fact that really, I mean, we use amplification in certain venues, to enhance to make the sound louder. But really, the best way to perform this music is purely acoustic.
Sure. So
and maybe put some microphones. Django's guitar was really loud. Stefan's violin. They were playing. They definitely were able to resonate for sure and get a big sound.
Sure. I would guess if people have heard of, I would say like Django Reinhardt would be kind of the the Joe Montana of gypsy jazz, or like you'd say the Dizzy Gillespie of gypsy jazz. Say that 3 times fast. But it's so like if people may have heard that name and they may not even know that it's attached to gypsy jazz, but Django Reinhardt, if you know any kind of music and of the era and everything, that's a household name, And so, but do people associate it with gypsy jazz, or they just kind of lump it with all the jazz?
I think I'll let Adrian answer this.
Yeah. The Frenchie. So Django basically created gypsy jazz. So you can't talk about gypsy jazz without talking about Django.
Gotcha. Without him, there is no gypsy jazz, basically.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
And in one sentence, who was Django Reinhardt before he became the patron saint of gypsy jazz?
Django was a gypsy, a guitar player, and he lived in Paris in the 30s. And so he started playing banjo and playing music in all the clubs in Paris. And then when jazz arrived in France, in Paris, he started, created his own sound.
Gotcha. Oh, you know what? If you don't mind here, John has given me I've got a little. We can play a little clip of Django Reinhardt here. This is a live. Beautiful. This is from him, a live performance he did back in 1945. So,
nice.
This would this be more modern Django, or is this kind of right in the heyday of his career?
Right in the middle.
Gotcha. Okay. Here, I'm going to shut up and let folks take a listen here. That is, I love it. And this is the thing this is the thing, I guess I'm thinking if you're a guitarist, you can hear the complexity. I mean, I think to lay people, you don't really appreciate what's going on there. But as a guitarist and hearing what he's doing with that, I mean, is that like for you guys, when you hear this kind of stuff, is that, I mean, you probably look at someone like him and think of, and you're looking at the technical. How is he doing that and this? Is it like, do you guys listen to this differently than someone like a lay person like I would? That makes sense?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because I mean,
being a musician, yeah, you're thinking about what he's doing technically, but I think even just listening as a lay person, or not, I just think I hear how much fun they're having and how bouncy and how it seems like just everyone's having a good time, and it's definitely something that at 8:30 in the morning in Roswell, you hear that, it's going to put you in a good mood. It reminds me of the music of Louis Armstrong, too, because that was the same way. And actually, he was inspired by Louis Armstrong. That's that's how he started actually playing, mixing the European musette style with American swing music. Was hearing Louis Armstrong, and he said, "I want to play like that."
Well, this is something I like to kind of bring upon younger folks, your teenagers and 20-something, more teenagers. But when you look at things like jazz and gypsy jazz and these, it's kind of neat to express it in a way to younger people. It's like, look, these were the guys pushing the envelope in the music world. Like everything you have today begat this. This is what you listen. And I don't care what type of music you are into, or now technically you can be a musician and just. Technically, and just be good at a computer. But I'm like, all of that begats this. Without what's going on in these, and so when you see these jazz clubs in the 40s and 30s and 20s, they're pushing envelopes in the music world, and I think people don't realize that, and it's kind of neat when you finally. And I imagine you guys love doing that when you get some teenager or something, and you're like, yeah, oh, that thing you're listening to, well, this begat from that. I mean, do you guys experience a lot of that as you're presenting and doing jazz music, or either in the clubs or when you head out to places like New Mexico?
Yeah, sure. There's always a young, there's usually some young person who's interested in the music, and that's great. I think we really need to nurture that.
Sure.
Because this style of music is becoming a dying art form, jazz music. So we got to keep it alive. I think, and also there's a lot to learn from Django's story and learning the history of this music. I think it transcends all different genres. It basically the moral that I get from Django's life is that if the music is in you, it's gonna come out. Because look at his disability that he had. He was in a caravan fire. The whole left side of his body was burned, even including his hands. So he had a little bit of a disability that it was actually a lot of a disability that he powered through. He was able to use his thumb and his melded index finger and pinky finger. But
you have to retrain the brain to do that.
To use that thumb. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's just I just think that I think a lot of people, whether you're young or old or, just getting into this music or just getting into music in general, I think that's a beautiful story is, this man who had a disability and the music was in him and had to come out, and he ended up becoming the most recorded jazz guitar player in Europe, 550 recordings throughout his short lifetime.
Man, that's it's kind of I'm also curious too, because I always, in music, when you do have an amazing, talented artist, and I don't care what the genre is, for a short period of time, it seems to enhance, like their skill set's amazing and things, but you kind of also, like had we had him longer, do you think it would have spread more? Or, I look at. Oh
yeah, of course. Well, him and Les Paul were actually very good friends. He came to America and he went on tour with Duke Ellington, and Les Paul felt that he wasn't, even though Duke Ellington was great and everything, but he wasn't properly presented. So he wanted to invite Django Reinhardt back on tour, and at that time, Les Paul and Mary Ford, they were like the Beatles. They were huge, So a guitar player, superstar like Les
still a
Paul
household name in the guitar world.
Django Reinhardt, he would have been a superstar.
Gotcha.
Over here, because it's an interesting story. The appreciation that Les had for Django and Django had for Les, because when Django died, he got all the royalty money from the record labels to help pay for the funeral.
Oh wow!
And I gave a lot of that also to his Django's wife, Najine. Because obviously she was just left. Her husband just died. So Les was definitely a huge supporter, and Les. Everybody knows the name Les Paul.
Absolutely.
And
is there a Les Paul Django Reinhardt guitar series? There should be.
I wish that he. That just goes to show if he would have. If he would have been with us a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that he would have done. I mean, later in life, he heard Les Paul and he wanted to play electric guitar, so he got a guitar with a pickup and everything, and it's funny. You hear those electric recordings and you're like, whoa,
sure.
This guy, he's really going for it. It's just it's like I said before. If the music's in you, it's going to come out.
Absolutely.
I'd like to introduce one new topic here, and that is the resurgence now of gypsy jazz in popularity.
Yeah, you're seeing and that's. I think we are in many facets where people are starting to realize, oh yeah, the modern computer that back to the traditional ways of things.
Well,
and so
Vinny and Adrian have a regular gig playing gypsy jazz, and Django's first group was the Quintet of Paris Hot Club.
Okay.
And Adrian can talk more about that. But now if you go down the rabbit hole of the internet, most major cities have hot club jazz groups, meaning gypsy jazz.
Nice.
So would you guys like to talk a little more about that too?
Well, I think there is. I think exactly like the bluegrass, there is a big community of gypsy jazz all over the world, and we have some different hot clubs. We have the Hot Club of San Francisco. So many little communities of the same style, and I think from my experience. Late 90s, early 2000, it's starting getting big again, especially in France, and it's still growing. I think.
For you two, where was gypsy jazz your window into music, or what got you into music and how did your path to gypsy music come? If it wasn't there originally, how did your path bring you here?
So for me, both my parents are classical violinists.
Okay.
So I followed the family tradition, playing violin.
Okay.
And then, I think Django Reinhardt's gypsy jazz is part of the French culture. So I listen to that.
So I gotta ask.
My childhood.
I gotta ask, because being down here in country parts in New Mexico and all that. When does that violin cease to become a violin and call it a fiddle? This is a debate I've always had. I'm not sure the answer.
No, but I think the fiddle is just for depending on the style of music you play.
Gotcha. The instrument has no difference. It's just what you put out of it.
Same.
Gotcha.
It's the same.
There you go.
Well, what I used to say is that the difference between a violin and a fiddle is that for the fiddle you can spill beer on it.
Well, please pardon us if we accidentally call you a fiddleist a few times here on there as well.
Yeah, just don't spill beer on his violin.
I know.
until after the 12th, at least.
Gotcha. Very good. For you, Vinny, how did you come to gypsy jazz?
Well, I grew up playing, like rock and roll guitar, just because I wanted to.
Sure.
It was like a way to socialize.
Sure.
I was a little awkward when I was younger, so music was a way to make friends and be in a band and stuff like that. So it was always a social thing for me. And then
Absolutely.
I studied jazz, and I just loved the interaction between the players. And then just keep on going, keep on digging into other stuff. You listen to Wes Montgomery, Joe Pass, Tony Mottola, Bucky Pizzarelli, Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
It's like it all leads to that. The more you learn, the more you discover these players, and it's like sometimes you learn about these players, and you're just like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. How did I not hear of him? I think that's how a lot of people have when they first hear Django. That's what they think.
Sure.
They're like, how have I not heard of this guy before?
Well, it sounds like you kind of have where, like, you talk to a lot of guys. How'd you get into guitar? Why'd you get into guitar? And to meet girls and to get, of course that was the draw at first, but then it sounds like, oh wait, this is deep, this is good. And then you hit, and then so you came to be for the social scene, and basically you fell in love with the music. And then once the bugs bit, I'm sure you're the folks that are at 2 a.m. in your room, haven't slept in hours, just working on a certain sequence on the guitar or on the violin. Just, you know what I mean? Like at your level, I'm sure when you can't sleep, you're just sitting there picking at 3 a.m, or whatever.
Yeah, many late nights / early mornings playing music for sure.
Well, and that's got to be because I would imagine you guys have to have a certain level of dexterity with your fingers and stuff playing gypsy jazz, like it, because it's pretty. Some of those, sets are pretty intricate, and imagine with violin, but certainly with guitar and stand-up bass, you're picking pretty quick, and you got to have a little finger dexterity. So without that 3 a.m. stuff, I don't know, it'd probably be a lot harder for you guys to pull a full concert of.
Oh yeah. Well, Adrian runs a jam session every Wednesday night that goes until about 3 a.m. So
yeah,
and it attracts gypsy jazz musicians like a light attracts mosquitoes. Everybody shows up, and jams, and it just keeps on going. So
sure.
It's a great thing that he's been doing on Wednesday nights. For the music community.
So I'm very curious. As far as preferences, when you guys do perform and play. Obviously with the type of music and things you do, you're in the nightclub in that, very small, more intimate audiences. Do you guys get opportunities to play in more bigger like auditoriums, or does the music kind of lose a little of its flavor in a bigger setting, if that makes sense?
No, it's just different.
Okay.
It's just different.
I don't know, it's just like certain music you hear, it's like it should be around a bar. You know what I mean? And other music you hear, it should be in a concert setting. And I feel like gypsy jazz is better in a bar than it is like in a concert setting.
It depends. All music has different I don't know, the different flavors.
Different vibes.
And vibes, and you can express different things depending on the setting. When you're in concert hall, you do the way you craft the songs. It's a different thought process, and then in a bar, you can. I think when you play in a bar, you can experiment a bit more and be a bit more loose, and then something great happens. But also, when you're in a concert hall, you're really focused. Yeah. And you try to make the music shine, and you get something else that's also beautiful. So,
that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of like when you see like you're kind of Vinny talking about the rock stuff. Like you see like a band as large as say as like Metallica. They have their concert where they've got their whole big lights and sound and the whole thing, but then. And it's a great concert, but then you put those guys in a setting that's very intimate, and it's a whole different concert. And I guess, I feel like gypsy jazz, we just know it more for the intimate setting and not the big stage setting. So, but equally plays, it's just how I imagine you guys play it different. You're like, we got to put our, we got to shine up the boots. We got our big concert thing. Whereas the, at the nightclub, you're like, hey, let's just kick back and see what happens kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
Definitely. I think you play your personality, and also the environment affects, how you're going to play for sure.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. So, so for you guys, what's kind of like, are you at where you're at? You're just, hey, we're in the clubs doing our thing, or like, what's like goals and aspirations? Do you want to, take this bigger? What's kind of, or you just, hey, we're just guys just playing music, man. That's kind of our thing. What's kind of like what you guys want to do with this stuff?
A hot club of outer space.
There you
That's
go.
my goal.
Perfect for Roswell.
Take it to the galaxy. Hey, yeah, that's right. We could be a launch pad. Hey, we're
First
only,
hot club on the moon.
there you go. We're only a couple hours from the Virgin guy. Maybe we can get him to send a rocket up for us.
Yeah, let's go. Is there any spaceships that we get? Any alien spaceships over there we can borrow and play some music on the moon?
We'll work on it. You know, they might need a kickstart, but we'll get them up there. I'm just curious. I know you guys have been in town for jazz festivals and things here before, but how much Roswell stomping grounds have you got? Have you been here like multiple times, or just once or twice, or what's?
Well, this is Adrian's first time.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be my third or fourth.
Okay.
Time coming there, and I just love going there. I love the people. I love the alien theme. I guess I'm kind of nerdy about that. I just love going to the museum and the stories, whether or not they're true or not. I know when you talk to different people, some people are like, oh yeah, something definitely happened.
There's definitely two mindsets here. Because in the summer there we have our UFO festival, and that's kind of when the whole world kind of comes in and puts on their alien stuff. It's kind of two schools of thought. You have the foil hat folks that just kind of make fun and have just a jovial thing, and then you have the actual researchers, the UFOologists, and these guys are professor-like people and doing it. So and you can't make the full hat jokes in those rooms, and you can't get serious in the other rooms. You just got to know your audience when you're floating around on that one. But I do have to ask though, are you indoctrinated enough into the green chili yet?
Oh, I love the green chili. That's going to be one of the first things that I do when I get there.
Yeah. You get kind of spoiled once you have it here, and then you go to other places and they claim Colorado. We know that's not the real stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking Adrian there and seeing his reaction to coming to Roswell for the first time.
Yeah, super excited.
Well, hopefully April. Hopefully, I think the weather's going to be a little nicer next week than it is this week. I was looking like next Wednesday, we're supposed to be back in sunny and 80s, back to what normal people think New Mexico sounds like. So,
beautiful.
But folks, get your tickets now. It's they come out for Gypsy Jazz here, the Roswell Jazz Festival, presenting a night of Gypsy Jazz with these two gentlemen, and of course Richard Simon as well will be coming in to fill out the trio. Get your tickets right now at thelibertyinc.com, and tickets are $50, but get them now, because if you wait till show night, they might be too many. The fire marshal only lets so many people in that building, so make sure you get your tickets early here at thelibertyinc.com, and come hungry. I know hopefully everyone over at the Liberty, they hook you up. They got some pretty good eats over there too. So make sure you bring your appetite when you do come for a night of music and everything too. So.
And maybe we can close with that clip from Django again. And I will leave it with a question particularly for our listeners in the Roswell area. As you listen to this, does it sound like somebody that you grew up listening to in the 50s here in Roswell that you would not call gypsy jazz?
Okay.
But see if you can identify the additional influence of Django Reinhardt and gypsy jazz into our local regional music from back in the 50s and 60s.
Okay, very good. And of course, come out and see, of course, Adrian and Vinny and Richard here at Gypsy Jazz, April 12th, which is, about 8 days away? What's today, the 3rd, 4th? So about 10.
A week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow. So that's right, 1 week from tomorrow. TheLibertyInc.com. Adrian, Vinny, is there any? I would give you guys kind of the last word before we play out the music. Anything we wanted to share or mention that we just spaced on, or I didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, I'm really excited.
Just come ready to play.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure.
Sure. Now, do you guys? Oh, yeah. I gotta ask, like, for a show like this, how much of it is planned, and how much of it is we'll figure that out as it goes? Like, because I know you guys will have set lists and songs, and all right, we're gonna play this, and you might even practice a little bit before. But how much of that is like you come Saturday night and be like, I don't know, I'm feeling a little more saucy. We're going to do this tonight instead. I mean, is that what's Saturday night going to be? More of that, or are you guys kind of structured?
No, I think for this one, we've been playing together for more than 10 years now, I think, Vinny. We have hundreds of songs that we all know very well. So I think we're going to feel the vibe and have a very special and unique moment with all of you guys.
Excellent. So just go with the flow.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah, we got a lot of music to pull from. And Adrian, is also a very fine vocalist as well. So we can do some vocal tunes, do some instrumental tunes. We do some stuff that Django Reinhardt wrote, some jazz standards, some of his arrangements. So there's just so much music to pull from. I think the question is like. How long are we going to play? Because we have so much music that we can pull from.
I know folks can Google all three of you gentlemen and find an extensive collection of various clips and things of music and stuff. But if folks want to kind of learn more about your music, maybe get a hold of if you've got any of your stuff you're doing, if any other side projects, what's a great place for folks to look you guys up on the internet?
I think YouTube is the best way.
Yeah, just type your names in YouTube. But that's what I did.
Yeah, just Google our names. Yeah, Google. Just a quick Google search. If you could spell our names, you could find us.
There you go.
Yep.
And I'll help out, folks, if you need spelling here with Adrian or Vinny's last name. Richard Simon's pretty simple, but the other two you might need a little help with.
Or just go to the Roswell Jazz website.
Go to Roswell Jazz Festival's website there, and you can get there. That can start you down the wormhole. You can get you linked to the Liberty tickets for the show, and of course, if you want to start popping and finding some YouTube clips and various things of not just these three gentlemen, but of Django Reinhardt and just I don't know, just do a Google search, Gypsy Jazz, and see what takes you down the road there and what you find. And I guarantee you're going to be in a treat of not only these three talented gentlemen, but many, many others in the industry as well, doing some great music through Gypsy Jazz and stuff. So it's gonna be a great night at Liberty. I think, folks, if you're going to be blown away by the level of just the music, the talent, and you're like, man, this. Even though you're like, that wasn't necessarily my wheelhouse of music, but boy, I'm sure I was introduced to it. You know what I mean? I think that's what Saturday night's going to be for a lot of folks next week. So, good deal.
Oh yeah, sure will, and come and support the festival because that's a great. I'm so happy to be able to play on Saturday and help out with raising money to keep good music coming to Roswell.
Absolutely. And then, absolutely. We have a pretty cool, unique underground music scene here with, not always with the jazz stuff, but just a lot of local bands that play in places like the Liberty here. And folks around town don't realize it, but we have a great art community here with music and other great stuff. And the Jazz Festival is very much the class act part of that, too. So we appreciate it. So thank you, guys, and safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you here next week.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Have a good day.
John.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
See you soon.
See you soon.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Adrian and Vinny here. Come see him here at the Liberty here. John, before we go, like I said, we're gonna wrap up here with one more time of little Django Reinhardt. And as John mentioned here, take a listen a little deeper and see if it kind of tickles a little, that sounds like something you might think from around here. So, all right, John, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. We always appreciate coming in and doing your show.
Hopefully get you a breakfast burrito or something before you head back up the hill here today.
I will do that.
Thank you, John. All right, we're gonna take you out with the little Django Reinhardt, and then we'll go into news here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Stick around. Hold on. I got to multitask. I was going to hit a space bar, but I don't think that works.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. Artesia police are investigating a shooting that took place early Thursday. A man and a woman were found wounded near West Clayton and South 11th Streets. This happened just after 4:30 in the morning. The names of the victims have not been released, but an Artesia police spokesperson said the man had to be flown to another hospital for treatment. The incident appears to have happened at a nearby home, but Commander Pete Quinones told the Daily Press that the situation was, quote, definitely not domestic violence related. He also said there was no evidence of a robbery or theft. Anyone with information is urged to contact Artesia Police. The city of Roswell is seeking public input for the city's comprehensive master plan. About 40 people attended the first public meeting on Wednesday. More public events are scheduled throughout the month of May. You can find out more details by going online to the City of Roswell homepage. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Both the Roswell Coyotes and Goddard Rockets were in baseball action yesterday. For Goddard, it was a doubleheader against Carlsbad that was actually moved up a couple of days. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but the possibility of inclement weather made them decide to reschedule that. So that took place in Carlsbad yesterday, and Carlsbad won both games, 11-1 in the first. The second game, it was a lot closer. Goddard got 5 strong innings on the mound from Cameron Brown, but still fell in the late going when Carlsbad won 3-2. Meanwhile, Roswell whooped up on Lovington 13-0. Savino Sanchez home run, 3 RBIs. Adrian Lucero 4 RBIs. Roswell's next in action today. They'll be making the trip to Santa Fe for a game at 3:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have cold front moving through the area today. Showers and thunderstorms, pretty good possibility, mid to upper 50s. Overnight, we'll be getting more rain, our low in the mid to upper 30s, and then a mix of rain and snow showers on Saturday. It'll be a lot colder. Our high stays in the mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny and warmer weather on Sunday. Our high should top out in the mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks sold off in a big way yesterday in response to President Trump's imposition of tariffs. And the market went toward its biggest one-day slide since 2020. On the New York Stock Exchange, for example, losers outnumbered winners for the day's session 6-1. And the S&P 500 back down at its lowest level since Trump won the election in November. A baseline tariff of 10% goes into effect for imports from all countries beginning on April 5th. Saturday, tomorrow. President Trump yesterday admitting the big sell-off was a reality and was going to happen in the sense that any operation causes the patient temporary discomfort, but he added his prediction is that the market will soon boom. In economic data, continuing jobless claims hit their highest level observed since 2021, but week over week, first-time jobless claims moved lower. Companies that do have multinational exposure saw their share price tumble, including Nike and Apple. Other companies that import a lot of goods also hit hard. Five Below, Dollar Tree, and Gap saw their share price slip. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. Donate now to Toys for Tots, working year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, has provided over 60 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Check out some of the spring shower of bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select varieties of American Beauty pasta are 4 for $5, and select boxes of Kellogg's breakfast cereals are $4.98 each. In produce, green asparagus is $1.79 a pound, and Roma tomatoes are 2 pounds for $1. In the meat department, family packs of fresh 73% lean ground beef are $3.29 a pound, and family packs of fryer thighs or drumsticks are 99 cents a pound. These are just some of the spring shower of bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
The Matanza Fest and Cinco de Mayo celebration is a party you don't want to miss. Mariachis, vendors, the Imperials Car Show, a dance, and the Matanza, a mouth-watering event and competition of savory, one-of-a-kind pork creations and real chicharrones and fresh salsa. To find out more, log on to nmmatanza.com. The Matanza Fest and Cinco de Mayo celebration at the fairgrounds in Roswell. Proceeds to support alternative education programs and paid for in part by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra presents Kinderman Plays Beethoven, Saturday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. William Kinderman returns to Roswell to perform Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5, Emperor, along with works by Weber, Dvorak, and Richard Strauss. Tickets are on sale now and are available at roswellsymphony.org or by calling 575-623-5882. Kinderman Plays Beethoven, Saturday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. Paid in part by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Hey, Roswell, need a truck? You're in luck. Now is your time to buy a new Ford truck for a lot less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. For a limited time, get massive discounts on every new Ford and quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, plus 0% APR for 72 months and no payments for 90 days. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, so we're taking care of business. Big trucks, small trucks, work trucks, we've got them all for a lot less. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you, regardless of where you're at, for oil changes, tire rotation, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. Massive savings and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is 13.89 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from native sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance to new loan. Subject to approval. Offers not combined.
Spring is in the air, and so is the Yucca Blossom Trade Day Spring Fling. Join us for a free event this Saturday, April 5th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and this Sunday, April 6th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Artesia Center in Artesia, New Mexico. Shop amazing local vendors, find unique treasures, and enjoy a fun-filled weekend while supporting small businesses. Plus, help bless the Stacia Landreth family by donating or bidding in our silent auction. All proceeds go directly to Stacia. Don't miss out on the Yucca Blossom Spring Fling. Shopping, community, and giving back. See you there.
Author and minister Tim Keller said the following: "The Christian gospel is that I'm so flawed that Jesus had to die for me, yet I'm so loved and valued that Jesus was glad to die for me. This leads to deep humility and deep confidence at the same time. It undermines both swaggering and sniveling. I cannot feel superior to anyone, and yet I have nothing to prove to anyone. I do not think more of myself nor less of myself. Instead, I just think of myself less." This reminds me of one of the most quoted verses in the Bible. "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." These verses should motivate us to be grateful for what God has done for us, but it should also motivate us to action, to share that love with others around us. If you want to learn how to experience this great love from God, then join us as we learn to know Jesus better.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Anxious times. If you're a stockholder, Wall Street continues to sink following yesterday's major sell-off. But the economic news, not all doom and gloom this morning. The Labor Department's latest jobs report is in.
U.S. employers added 228,000 jobs last month. The hiring numbers were up from 117,000 in February and nearly double the expected number of 130,000 for March. Workers' average hourly earnings were up 0.3% from February, about what economists had expected. Year over year, hourly pay is up 3.8%. The unemployment rate last month ticked up to 4.2%. George Williams reporting.
And speaking of jobs, a staff shakeup involving intelligence and national security employees. White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
The Trump administration fired the top 2 officials at the National Security Agency, including the director, who also headed the Pentagon's U.S. Cyber Command. And President Trump acknowledged the firing of several White House National Security Council officials. The shakeup came a day after far-right activist Laura Loomer met with the president to discuss staff loyalty. He said Loomer sometimes offers advice, but claimed she had nothing to do with the recent firings. Greg Clugston, Washington.
More bad weather in the forecast for a wide swath of the South, the Midwest, parts of the East. Earlier this week, storms killed 5 people in Tennessee, 1 each in Indiana and Missouri. Tragedy in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. 3 members of a family struck and killed by an Amtrak train last evening. South Korea will be holding a presidential election within 2 months. The nation's constitutional court has removed impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol from office. On Wall Street, stocks are sharply lower. The Dow is down about 1,300 points. The Nasdaq off 766. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Russia has struck Ukraine's second city.
At least 5 people were killed and over 30 injured in a Russian drone strike on the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. Fires broke out in various locations due to the shelling, destroying and damaging residential houses and cars. According to local authorities, 7 strikes were recorded, resulting in damage to nearly 30 houses and an administrative building. The Ukrainian Air Force says Russia fired 78 strike and decoy drones overnight. According to Ukrainian government and Western military analysts, Russian forces are preparing to launch a fresh military offensive in the coming weeks to maximize pressure on Ukraine and strengthen the Kremlin's negotiating position in ceasefire talks. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Search teams have pulled more bodies from the rubble of buildings a week after a massive earthquake rocked Myanmar, killing more than 3,100 people. The focus now turns toward the urgent humanitarian needs of the country. News and analysis, townhall.com. Gray wolves are stirring up trouble out west.
Commissioners in a rural New Mexico county say pets are being snatched from front yards and livestock are being killed by Mexican gray wolves, prompting them to declare a state of emergency. In the latest flashpoint over efforts to reintroduce wolves in the western U.S., Catherine County commissioners met Thursday to consider steps to hire more people to investigate damage reports and help haze the endangered wolves. They heard nearly 3 hours of testimony from frustrated ranchers and concerned residents. Counties in California and Oregon also recently declared emergencies because of problems with gray wolves there. Keith Peters, Washington.
The Department of Energy has identified 16 federal sites, including storied nuclear research laboratories such as Los Alamos, where it could invite tech companies to build data centers in a push to accelerate commercial development of artificial intelligence. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Ah, yes, the weekend is upon us.
Yeah, it's a different kind of Friday, but it's still Friday.
Indoor activities feel like they're on the menu.
That's right. A lot of indoor things.
You know, there's a lot of really cool board games out there now.
Yeah, movies, things.
So much new stuff on streaming. I mean,
I saw last night. There's a HBO Max show called Hacks, and it stars Amy Smart. No, not something Smart. It's
not Amy Smart. Jean Smart.
Jean Smart. Thank you. Her. She's and she's like a Joan Rivers type, and it's kind of hot. Well, anyway, there's like I think they're. I just realized they're about to start a new season on Max of it. Hence, what I've been seeing is they're actually airing, I'm going to guess, the whole first seson on TBS.
Oh, really?
And so last night they're doing like back-to-back episodes. So they had 2 episodes last night. I think they'll do episodes 3 and 4 tonight. It's an all right show if you've never seen it. It's kind of...
I've seen a little bit of it. It's very like The Devil Wears Prada-esque to me.
A little bit, yes. But it's in the comedy world.
Or what was that? Monster-in-Law.
Yeah.
You remember the movie Monster-in-Law?
I do. I don't think I've ever seen all of it. I've seen little bits and pieces of that one.
Go back and watch it. It's great for a few reasons. I know it's a rom-com. It's a Jennifer Lopez movie, but the whole story is that
Jane Fonda's in that one.
Yeah,
right?
Jane Fonda plays the mother of the guy that Jennifer Lopez is marrying, and she's a talk show host.
Yes, I kind of remember now. Yeah.
And she goes pretty off the rails at the thought of losing her baby boy. The best part, though, about it is the assistant is Wanda Sykes.
Okay,
and
I now remember. And the love interest, the dude's famous too, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember who it is offhand, but
I can't remember who it is.
McConaughey. Actually, I think it is McConaughey.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Because sure. Because it's Friday and it's right here. I'm not going to look it up, but no, it's that dynamic of the host of a show, celebrity, and then the person who's basically keeping everything afloat behind the scenes, and that dynamic, and that's entertaining.
Yeah, I like the show because I'm a mark for like comedy, like any behind the scenes about movies or comedy writers and stuff. I'm generally into those. So that's why I like the Hacks. And it's kind of an interesting perspective because it kind of it really, you see how someone's and as the course of the show progresses. Because I'm caught up. I've just happened to be seeing it.
Right.
Where you kind of were, because yes, the character that she plays is kind of a just straight up jerk.
Right. She's
but
abusive.
As you peel back layers, you start to and the assistant that she gets, and that's the premise of the show is she's the comedian. She now brings in this writer to help her that against her will, that they're oil and water. They don't vibe, but they really do at the end of the day, kind of thing.
Right.
There's more in common than they think. And that's basically the premise of the show.
What was it called?
Hacks.
Hacks, right.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember because the house, one of the houses that they use in the filming of the show was burned down in the Palisade fires.
Oh, was it?
One of the LA fires.
Okay. I'm going to take a stab that this new season of Hacks was filmed before that happened.
I think it was filmed before, yeah.
I'm going to take a stab. That's probably
it says an estate in the show Hacks was burned down in Southern California.
I wonder if it was her house in the show.
$4.65 million home. It was the...
Because that show
it made a cameo in Succession. It was a home from the. It just says a home from the series.
Succession.
Hacks.
Okay.
But it was in the show Hacks, but it made a cameo in the show Succession.
Okay, so
it's a known film
property
film
that they film a lot in. Okay, makes sense. But that's a pretty good one if you're looking for indoor.
It's
things
Vance's side mansion.
Okay, yeah, because
well,
depending on the season, because she's in Vegas for the first season.
Okay.
Because it starts out where she's got a standing gig at a casino in Vegas, and Shooter McGavin runs the casino.
Poor guy. Although I say that poor guy, he's going to be back in Happy Gilmore too.
Oh, Shooter McGavin's fine. Don't feel bad for Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin's just fine. He's doing better than all of us.
Have you seen the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2?
No, I don't think I've seen that one. But you know what I did see a trailer for?
What's that?
The reboot of Naked Gun.
What?
The reboot of Naked Gun. That's coming out August 1st. It's Seth MacFarlane. And Liam Neeson is playing the Leslie Nielsen character.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I do remember talking about this.
Well, a trailer came out yesterday for it.
Oh, my God.
And I've learned from the trailer. I think Liam Neeson's Frank Drebin is the son of Leslie Nielsen's Frank Drebin.
Okay.
Because there is a scene... They basically, in the trailer for this, they do basically, there's a bank robbery. And all of a sudden, this little girl walks in to the bank and then rips off the costume. It's Frank Drebin, and he just blows the place up. But then he sits there and goes, it's Frank Drebin. It's Police Squad with a twist. And then they show Neeson sit there with the skirt still on and his stuff on display there for all to see.
Oh, right.
And then they cut to another scene where he's looking at these portraits, and it's one of Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen, and he's like, "Oh, I'll miss you, Dad," and all this. And then they show Ed, his partner, and he's like, "Oh," and then they show OJ, and he's like, and some guys, never mind.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I don't know if this is going to be good or god awful, but I'm piqued my curiosity.
And I've said this before because I remember we did talk about this when it was first announced. Yeah. I completely put it off in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
For this to work, Liam Neeson is done playing serious roles.
Right.
He's done. He has to be because for the rest of Leslie Nielsen's career, because he was a serious cinematic actor.
Sure.
But as soon as he got tied in with the Zuckers and with Airplane and all those.
Harlan.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, though.
See, the Leslie Nielsen and Liam Neeson is too close to mess with my head right now.
They did a really good job of that. In order for it to succeed moving forward, he has to be strictly a parody, comedic, serious actor.
Maybe he's just going to, because he's already done a few Seth MacFarlane movies. This isn't his first gig. He did Ted movie. He did A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Right.
So,
and he was great in all those.
And to be honest, all of his comedic roles are Seth MacFarlane roles. Now that I think about it,
his cameo in Ted 2, where he has the whole conversation at the store with Ted about what the tricks are, in fact, for kids. That's just good acting.
Yeah. So I think but now that I think about it, everything Liam Neeson's done comedic has been through Seth MacFarlane.
Mm-hmm.
So that maybe he is slowly diverting there. Because let's face it,
you can't do.
There are only so many movies that Liam Neeson can do. I have a certain set of skills. It's actually going to intimidate somebody. At some point, they're going to be like, "Yeah, well, get right after your Social Security check kicks in, bud." You know what I mean?
Not for nothing. Watch your kids better. If they can make 4 of these things, and you have to have a certain set of. Just watch your kids.
Between his clients and the Home Alone parents, these people seriously need to have their kids taken away. I'm just saying. All right, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. But yeah, I'm not sure yet if that movie's going to be good.
I'm immediately going to go.
I watched the trailer and I'm like, this is going to be amazing. Like, I have faith because I kind of enjoy Seth MacFarlane comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his stuff does not disappoint for me, generally. But I don't know, man. You're messing with sacred ground to me.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part.
Yeah.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because Seth MacFarlane, generally speaking, is hit, He's had a couple of misses, but I have faith.
Put it this way, I'm not also convinced Liam Neeson can pull off Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yep. Liam Neeson can pull off Leslie Nielsen. Yeah. They did a real good job of nailing that down.
Man, that's going to mess with my head.
Born to play it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's really going to mess with my head. If I just did it, I'd probably been fine.
Liam Nielsen.
Yeah, I keep wanting to do that. Leslie Neeson. All right. Barbara Gomez, no confusion there, is going to join us here from Main Street Roswell in just a few minutes, give us update on what they've got going on. I know they've getting a lot of people geared up for the air races and all that stuff. So we'll talk about all that stuff with Barbara here in just a bit. But before we do any of that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have cold front moving through the area today. Showers and thunderstorms, pretty good possibility, mid to upper 50s. Overnight, we'll be getting more rain, our low in the mid to upper 30s, and then a mix of rain and snow showers on Saturday. It'll be a lot colder. Our high stays in the mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny and warmer weather on Sunday. Our high should top out in the mid 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees and currently overcast. I don't think it's raining at the moment. Humidity is at 48% with winds out of the southeast at 12 miles per hour. Got a lot of words for today's weather. Lots of words. For today, rain likely before noon, which we already proved that's true. Showers likely for the afternoon. Expect that. Mostly cloudy, 59 for a high today. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. They say expect between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain possible today. Tonight, rain likely and possibly a thunderstorm before midnight. Then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between midnight and 3 a.m. with showers possibly after that, after 3. Told you a lot of word salad city here. Overnight low of 35 with east winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Shifting to the north 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. We're looking at a 90% chance of precip tonight. Could expect another tenth to a quarter of inch of moisture unless we do get one of those thunderstorms, and then you can tick those numbers up a little bit. Saturday, more talking. 100% chance of precipitation for Saturday. Rain and snow showers before 9, then that rain and snow mix continues till about noon. Then it should change over to snow for the afternoon with some thunder possible. So thunder snow. We could see thunder snow tomorrow. Yeah. Temperatures falling. They don't even give me a high tomorrow. They say temperatures are falling to around 34 by 3 p.m. So I don't even know what a high is. So the overnight low is 35. It's going to drop. So somewhere between 35 and 34. I'm guessing. I don't know. But winds will be a breezy. So if you didn't have enough with the weather and the storms and the cooler temps, winds will also be blowing out of the north 15 to 20, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. That being said, little to no snow accumulation expected. So my wife was telling me that she was watching, I think, KOB this morning, and they were talking like 4 inches. And I'm like, I'm not seeing anywhere about 4 inches. So we could get anywhere to none to 4 inches. It's depending on who you believe. Saturday night, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain and snow showers till about 6 p.m. and then just snow till about 9 p.m. Mostly for 52 for a high. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. And then next week, it starts warming up progressively. We'll be in the mid-60s Monday, upper 70s pushing 80 Tuesday, 83 by Wednesday of next week, and Thursday 84. So it looks like more warmer. They don't talk about wind in those things yet, but it is New Mexico, and you know how that goes. But right now, looking all right. Okay, it is 9:19. Let's take a 2.5-minute break, and then Barbara Gomez will join us here on the other side of the break, talking Main Street Roswell. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
The Eastern New Mexico University System is proud to present One Eastern Day, sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank on Thursday, May 1st from 4 to 9 p.m. on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Come join ENMU for a family fun night featuring food trucks, inflatables, info booths, and live music by Roswell's own Grupo Maldad from 7 to 9 p.m. Bring out the whole family May 1st to ENMU Roswell and join us for One Eastern Day. Visit roswell.enmu.edu for more information. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success, that's what we're about. The Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation salutes hunters in the role they play in providing critical funding for conservation. Celebrate how hunting is conservation at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Annual Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. The Roswell Banquet will take place on April 12th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at rmef.org and go to the New Mexico Events tab. Celebrate hunters at the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation Roswell Banquet, Saturday, April 12th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds.
It's time to chase the unbelievable at the Spencer Theater for the Performing Arts. On Thursday, April 10th at 7 p.m., witness the Champions of Magic, combining their signature humor with groundbreaking magic. The world's only team of illusionists present a brand new, interactive, high-energy show, unlike anything that has come before. Get your tickets online at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Emerging fund managers and venture capital companies. Streamline your investment strategy with the State of New Mexico's SSBCI program. The SSBCI offers free expert support to help you access opportunities and drive small business growth. We'll help you navigate funding requirements, legal considerations, accounting, and more. Get started today at edd.newmexico.gov. That's edd.newmexico.gov. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, all the way from the 4th floor. Didn't need her umbrella to visit us for this one.
Yeah, I took the elevator.
Barbara Gomez is back with us from Main Street, Roswell. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Mike. Good morning to you all.
I'm not complaining about the rain because we always need moisture, but sure be nice if we did it like Monday, Tuesday instead of Friday, Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. But look at it this way. You can run over to some of the shops downtown and get something cool.
Absolutely.
And purchase something. But, I was thinking, what's the best thing on a rainy day besides hot chocolate? A good book.
Absolutely.
Right? A good book.
Good book and maybe a fireplace to
and
sit
maybe
in front
a fireplace. It's kind of funny because, you've already put all your winter clothes away, kind of. You started wearing your short
sleeves. You keep the one sweater just in case.
One sweater,
and
you have to dig it back out again. But talking about books, and again, that's right here on 308 North Richardson.
Great place.
Yeah, it's a really great place, and it's open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturday.
Excellent.
So you've got time to go over there.
Are they doing a bag sale right now?
Yeah, they really are.
Those are great.
They're doing a hardcover. For those of you guys that like books, I know everybody goes to digital, but I'm kind of old school myself. If I want to read, I like to have a highlighter. I like to bend the pages. I know people hate that. But
I like the free library bookmark to put it in.
Yes, yes. I like that too.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But I like to go back. If something really caught my eye and if I highlight it, I want to go back and read it. Maybe other people won't like to have my book after I'm done with it.
But it's your book. You do what you want with it.
That's right. But you know what? You can get hardcover nonfiction books for only $1.
Nice.
So you can't do bad with that.
Here's a cool part: that's a nonprofit organization over there. Books Again is run by a group called the Friends of the Roswell Public Library.
That's right.
And it's a volunteer organization, and basically they collect books, donations from the public like you, but they also take like books that they either have too many copies of, or
At the library.
certain ones at the library, and then make them available for sale at the bookstore. And they're very. They got a sale going on right now, but anytime you walk in there, you're getting a bargain.
You're
'cause
getting
the
a
books are
bargain,
very-
yeah.
And then all that money generated goes back to like the summer reading program, to like when they have guest lecturers and things to pay, to help cover cost expenses for like food and drinks
Sure.
and things. They also run the traveling libraries you may see out the airport.
Yeah.
Where like if you need a book or take a book, the lending library, that's what they call
lending
it.
library.
That's that all. So when you go to Books Again and browse through their books and spend $20 and get like 50 books,
Yeah, you'll have
you're
books
helping out the
for
library.
rainy days
Yeah.
and summer days that you're going to sit under a
Yeah.
tree. But the $5 bag sale is on April 5th, 15th, and 25th. They give you a bag.
Mm-hmm.
You pay only $5, and you fill out the bag as much as you can.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, like if you have kids and you're trying to start like a library for them, wait till one of those bag sale days. And trust me, because children's books are you could get an entire library's worth of children's books in that bag for $5.
Right,
It's like
and
a shopping bag, like a grocery bag.
Yeah,
size
and the
bag.
cool thing about it is that way your kids can see that it's their book.
Mm-hmm.
If they mess it up or they spill something on it, I mean, it's not like you spent, $20, $30 on it.
Exactly.
It's a buck.
And if it does manage to survive the child,
That's right.
you can
save
donate it back.
You can donate it back. I bet they
if it's
take
still,
it back.
If it's still, survived and still serviceable and good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Then the next generations of
That's
kids
right.
can look at it.
That's right. So as we're talking about kids and we're talking about stuff going on downtown, well, yes, today's a wintry, cold kind of a day. It's a rainy day.
Might want to hit the coffee shop.
Yeah, you might want to
downtown,
hit the coffee shop. So you might want to run down to Stellar Coffee today, sit around
Pick up
there,
a
grab
tea
a
or
book,
coffee,
and have something. But some of the downtown shops are doing bunny hops and downtown shops.
All right.
So they're kind of getting together and they're doing something for Easter.
Gearing up for Easter, which is
they're gearing up for Easter.
April 20th,
Yep.
I believe. That's
Yep.
Sunday, about 2 weeks away here.
Is it the 20th? I can't
I
remember
think it's
right
the
now.
20th. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's kind of organized by Cameron at She's a Dandy, but other merchants downtown are jumping in on this. Isn't that interesting, Bunny Hop?
That's
They're
the beauty of
jumping
Main
in, right?
Street Roswell is Sometimes they band together.
We band
hop
together.
together
and
on
do
this one. Yeah.
So on Saturday, April the 12th, which is next Saturday.
Next Saturday, one week from tomorrow.
Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., you can go to She's a Dandy. And they're going to have, this is going to be a really fun place to go. They're going to have the Runyon Ranches. They've already
they're going to bring
posted-
the animals?
Yeah, they're bringing the
Those
animals.
are always a hit. Like back when we used to do our first Fridays, those are one of the more popular things from that. So if all of those folks that love to see the Runyon Ranch animals, usually a few exotics in there, they're going to have them there next Saturday.
And what she posted on Facebook was that some bunnies. So that'll be a really
that would
cool
be apropos.
time. Yeah, appropriate.
It is
to
rabbit
bring-
season.
That's right.
I always go back to
season.
the loony duck season, rabbit season.
Ducks.
It's rabbit season
Yeah.
right now.
They're going to have a 360 photo booth. They're going to have
cool.
pictures with the Easter Bunny. So they are going to have the Easter Bunny there.
Excellent.
And they're going to do hidden eggs downtown.
Are they going to do a 360 photo with the Easter Bunny?
Yep.
You got to pull that off,
that's
right?
right.
The
That's
Easter
right.
Bunny's there?
That's
Yeah.
right. 360 booth, pictures with the Easter Bunny. So they're going to hide eggs, I guess, throughout downtown. So you can go Easter egg hunting, which will be really, really
so
fun.
a couple blocks in and around the
That's
whole Main
right.
Street corridor, go look around, might find some eggs.
And for those adults that are coming, of course, there's got to be some cool things for you too.
Sure.
So they're going to have a tulip bar, which is going to be really cool while supplies last. So maybe
Nice.
you might want to go grab you a tulip.
Get you
it's
a-
that time of the year that you
Are
need
these
to
the kind
grab-
you, I guess, plant back in, or are they kind of more flowers for like a gift?
I don't know.
I don't know
I'm not
either.
sure. She just called it a tulip bar. So you got to ask Cameron or look on her page.
I'm not familiar with. I'm sure that's like a thing, and I'm. And
Let
there's a
me
whole-
see if she says anything about it on here.
Okay.
Nope, I don't see it.
Okay.
But the cool thing is,
ask her.
again,
She'll tell you.
yeah, I'll ask. Yeah, just ask her. And the Whole Food donut trailer will be there.
Oh,
so
good.
if you need a donut, that's
Need
a
a
great
quick
place
pick
to
me up.
get
They
one.
got you.
That's right.
Got your grub covered.
And right across the street from there is Casa Bella.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be the Casa Bella Boutique. They're doing 30% off selected items. You get a free gift when you spend $50 even on lip scents. So apparently that's really a popular lip type thing that ladies like.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
world.
Well, I
You're
don't
gonna
know
have to take
about
her
it
word for
either. I
that
guess
one.
I'll have to go there and check it out.
I don't have I don't have a lip care regime.
How about chapstick?
I lick them when I get dry. That's about my regime there.
That's about
Occasionally I
that.
get chapstick when they hurt. Yeah, that's about it. When they get chapped.
And so some of the other people that are participating or merchants that are participating in this is CS Designs. This is really kind of cool. They are doing fluid art experience. And I know you can't see it, but I'll show it to Mike. But it's kind of like dripping paint on a little, I guess, I don't know what it's made out of, but maybe it's a ceramic bunny.
Gotcha.
And so you can transform an
Use
adorable,
gravity to do
that's
your
what
art.
it says. Transform an adorable ceramic bunny into a mesmerizing masterpiece using the magical art of fluid painting.
Nice.
So
It
they're
sounds
gonna,
like you kind of dash it on there, let gravity do its work, and let it fill the nooks and crannies and do what it's got to do there.
Yeah, and she's also saying, come take photos with a 360 photo booth. So the others are going to have the 360.
Nice. Those are fun if you've never been a part of one.
Yeah.
So hit them all.
We had them at the UFO one
time. Do a
time.
360 crawl or whatever on next Saturday here.
Yeah. So that starts at 10 a.m. right here at CS Designs at 318 North Main.
Cool.
So make sure you hit those two. Also, and like I said, since they're doing the Easter egg hunt, I'm assuming it's going to be in different areas downtown.
Gotcha.
So it's not just in these two shops.
So really, most of the downtown merchants are kind of are aware and are playing ball
and
too
hopefully
on that.
getting involved if they want to. So talk about it's getting summer, getting warm around here. So Moonrock Outfitters, the new bikes are in.
Okay.
So if you're into bikes, they just received a massive shipment of bikes, and they're excited to share them with you.
Nice. Well,
whether you're looking for a new road bike, mountain bike, hybrid, or something in between,
it's we kind of have the best.
Something for every rider and every
It kind
adventure.
of makes sense because you look at where we live, and we're arguably one of the best biking places in the world for that. I mean, because literally, like I said, you can get on a road if you're doing like street courses and train relatively unharassed.
Right.
But then, you put the knobby tires on and go do mountain biking and stuff. You're right there for that too. So, so if you're into biking, or maybe you're thinking, I want to, this sounds like this is the place you go and start talking.
I'd say go talk to Daniel. Over,
so if you're new to it or a veteran, let them get you into the hobby or sport.
Sure.
Or help you level up into your next thing on what you're doing. Yeah.
And you know what? Talk to Daniel over at Moonrock Outfitters. I know that they also repair bikes.
Okay.
And if you're just barely starting, he can help you out looking at sizes and what type is best for you.
Get you set up for what
you need to go out and get some exercise.
It's a great way to get active. Yeah. And we have so many. I mean, even in town here, we got so many hiking and walking trails that you could bike and do things too. Yeah. There's plenty of places.
And he's also doing. He does group bike rides. So if you're somebody that says, I'd love to go bike riding, but I don't want to go by myself.
Or I don't know where to go.
I don't know where to go. I'd say check with Daniel. He's got different things that he does.
It's not just a bike shop; it's a bike community.
Yeah, it's a bike community. If you really
want to come and make your introductions, or maybe your own into biking and stuff, and you realize there's a whole community of folks. Come on down and meet the group.
Right, and if you're doing skateboarding, he also has skateboardings and helmets and things
so he does
like that.
Does he do repairs on the trucks and all that too?
I believe he does as well. He's got a couple of people in there that help him with that. So also right next to him is Moonman Printing.
Okay.
He's getting ready to he's doing a lot of the polos and other type of shirts right now. But if you have a team or you're an organization, so you're following a baseball team or something,
or if your company
he can
has shirts and
specialty
logos.
type things with the polos and the hats, and so you can get you something specialized.
Or imagine if you need like a company uniform kind of thing.
A lot of people have those as company
company
uniforms. So make your way to Main Street Roswell. If you've not been down here in a long time, there's a lot going on.
You can find just about everything you need between the big collection of shops downtown, and if you can't, there's usually someone that can put you in the right direction on what you're looking for. So.
Right, and then there's sandwich between I think Moonman and Stellar is that new toy store.
Yeah,
it's a new space
like
museum.
a museum. Yeah. So if you love
old toys,
if you love the Star Wars collectibles and all the things that a lot of that stuff's in that museum there. And I'm guessing, is it just a museum or is it kind of a
I think you can
swap
buy
and trade?
Yeah,
and
I think you can do a lot there. And there's even things, rides for the kids to, take a little ride in there.
But I'm guessing if you're a toy collector, you might come in there.
You might want to come in there and look it up.
Yeah, I got my whatever. You want to trade it for this?
Yeah.
Kind of like what
and
people do.
The cool thing, Mike, about being part of Main Street, for those of you that are not on Main Street, maybe you might consider wanting to move into one of our empty buildings,
We do have real estate available.
You give us a call. We can let you know what's available downtown or give you the name of
if
the
you're
owner.
interested in starting a business downtown, first call you need to do is Main Street and let them, because they got a collection of the real estate real estate listings that are available in the Main Street corridor. And then you may not realize too, the Main Street corridor is a little bit bigger than most people reckon.
That's right.
It is not just Main Street.
No.
It's really the streets on either side of Main Street from about Alameda.
It starts on 8th Street next to McDonald's.
Yes.
That's where I like to start on the north side, and it goes all the way to Alameda.
Yes.
So that's a big district, and it also goes east and west also. So
Yes.
it goes east to Virginia, and encompasses
Richardson.
and then on Richardson
Yes.
going west.
Yeah.
But on the east side, it encompasses the railroad district.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, it's a big district. And so if you're in one of those areas, if I have not visited with you, then shame on me. I should go by and see you at some point.
And I'm telling you right now that railroad district, there's a lot of plans on a lot of things that are in the works there. So what you see there now, I'm pretty
may
sure
not be the same thing
a
you're
year
going
or
to
two
see later.
from now is not going to look the same.
You know, back in 2016, Mike, they did have, because it's a metropolitan redevelopment area, there were some plans for that. And as you have noticed probably in today's newspaper, they're already working on the master plan for Roswell.
Yeah.
And it includes the Main Street District and the Railroad District. So if you're wondering, a lot of people, we're locals. We don't always appreciate what we have right downtown, but we actually have a really beautiful downtown area.
We got a lot of cool stuff that
And,
a lot of towns would
right.
be envious of what we
That's right.
Yeah.
And coming up here pretty quick, the first weekend in May, we're going to start doing planting flowers on Main Street.
'Tis the season to beautify.
Yeah, flowers.
And they're always looking for volunteers to come out
yeah.
and help plant and make sure all the planters and things downtown are looking pretty for spring.
And so we get some flowers from Roswell Seed, and then we plant them up and down Main Street.
And we thank those merchants because once the volunteers come and plant everything, it's the Main Street merchants that water those and keep them as live as
if
long as
you don't have because one side of the street doesn't water as well as the other. So if you're on the west side, some of those flowers might look really great. Some on the east side, that water
Need some
system
help.
doesn't work as well. So we thank the merchants that do water those.
keeping extra going and all that good stuff.
So if you want to volunteer to help out with planting, what's really cool, Mike, is we always get groups. Sometimes the Kiwanis come out. The kids service programs come
Always,
out.
yeah.
The assistines.
There's lots of work like that to be done. Especially this time of year.
Key clubs. We have a lot of kids that come out to help us. So if you have a group or you need to do volunteer work, give us a call. We always have something.
Matter of fact, like just what it was a year or two ago, at one of the art groups, they kind of went around and were painting the boxes.
Yeah,
around, the
aren't
Main
they
Street
beautiful?
corridor. Yeah, they're beautiful.
I think that was a fantastic idea to do that.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff Main Street looks for, and is always
that's what we do.
It really, at the end of the day, it's putting our culture, it's putting our stank on it, is what it is. It's putting our stank on it.
That's right.
It's our community. Well, who we are as a town of Roswell, Main Street corridor kind of represents.
Sure, and the fact that coming here in May, we're going to have a lot of visitors already coming for those air races. So we're going to have people, we're going to have what do you call them, pilots and their families and their teams coming into town.
Yeah.
They're not going to stay here very, very long probably, but they're going to be here. So let's try to clean up our city. Time to do a little spring cleaning and get your areas looking nice. Clean your windows.
And UFO festivals, right, like months away. I know we keep talking about air races, and yes, that's a big deal.
That's in September.
But here in around 4th of July time, as it is always time, it'll be UFO festival once again.
Sure, and many of you have already called me or sent me an email or or text me or whatever. And you keep saying, Barbara, when are those vendor forms going to be ready? They are ready now.
Well, they're ready now.
They're ready now.
Ask no more.
Ask no more. You can look under UFOfestival.com.
Yes.
And there will be a link there.
Sure.
This year, Mike, we're trying something new, and so far it's working really good.
Sure.
Where you can do online. You can fill out your form online.
Excellent.
You can pay online.
So do a little more modern.
You can look for your spot. We put maps in there.
Oh, great.
So you can say, you know what, I want to be right here in front of the
So
courthouse.
all of our
or I want to
out-of-town
be
vendors
so people
can block right in. Yeah.
I mean, I've had a number of people from out of town calling me saying, so Barbara, where's the best place to be? And I don't want to be, saying just one place or the other. Because honestly, Mike, We're trying to make every single
Absolutely.
block of Main Street
And obviously, you guys have
fun
had to
and
pivot
exciting.
this year for this year's because of the lack of availability of the convention and
That's
civic
right.
center.
That's right.
And so you guys had to pivot a bit. So like a lot of the Galacticon and that stuff's going to be moved to downtown this year.
That's right.
And so you don't have to hoof it up there. It'll all be right in the Main Street corridor.
It's going to be all here in the Main Street district.
Yeah.
We are once again going to have two stages, one on the north side and one on the south side. And I have to tell you, that entertainment lineup is coming together really well.
Excellent.
Okay. As soon as I have it more gelled, I'm going to come here
Officially release.
Officially
but
release.
as a tease, you're going to like it.
Yeah, you're really going to like it.
Nice.
So if you don't want to get on the UFOfestival.com website, you can always go to Eventny. It's EVENTENY, Eventny.com.
Okay.
And it'll take you right into the vendor program. Okay?
Oh, excellent.
So what's really cool about this, Mike, is a lot of times I have to chase people around. You know what I'm saying? Like they bring me their paper application, but I have to have a couple of required forms, you know,
Sure.
like your certificate of insurance or
Sure.
your business license.
If it's a food vendor,
Right, or
their
food- or
sanitation
food.
paperwork and all that.
And if
yeah.
it's not on there, I have to take your application and put it to the side and not approve it until it's complete.
Sure.
But the program does that for you.
Excellent.
So it'll let you upload your forms right into
And
the
that way
program.
you know what you're missing
That's
without
right.
you
And-
having to chase them down
we'll-
and tell them.
That's right. I
Yeah.
can let them know you're missing this or this or that.
And I know that's because at the end of the day, event space is a premium.
It is.
And I'm going to tell you, every year there's people that probably get turned away.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, location.
Location.
They want those spots.
Well, a lot of my vendors that have been with me for many years
Yeah.
will call me up and say, "Hey, Barbara, just put me in the same
Same
place."
spot.
Okay,
My
was
usual.
your paperwork here? No. Have you paid? No.
I got to do it that way.
Yeah, no, we got to do it that way,
Yeah.
you guys, because we need to be fair.
Because there are people that are not getting in and so if I hold things or
Hold
do
your
special,
spot,
that
and you get to be special.
that's setting a precedent that I can't walk back.
That's right. That's right. And you know, Mike, after a while, because I'm honestly looking at this event to be even bigger than last year's.
Good.
So I don't want people to say, "Oh, Barbara, you're going to put me way over there where there's nothing happening." No, there will be.
If
there
you're in the
will
Main Street
be-
corridor, it's
Yeah,
happening.
It's
Yeah,
happening. So
yeah.
this will be a 7-block event. So it'll start on 5th and go all the way to Alameda. We are working on some cool things that'll be happening over on the 200 South block.
Okay.
We also have some exciting things. Of course, not only the stage that's going to be in front of El Toro Bravo, but we also have the bouncy houses. We're going to
Okay.
have some more water. We're going to have all kinds of fun things going on. So I'm busy every single day trying to make this event, along with our board and our volunteers, to make this the best event ever.
And don't forget, they are going to need an army of volunteers to pull this
Oh,
event
yeah.
off. If you'd like to be a part of the group of volunteers that help out during UFO Festival, you do not have to wait till that time to do that. Come
That's
see
right.
Main Street Roswell. Come get a hold of Barbara.
Right.
Shoot a message on the Facebook, whatever you got to do to get a
Yes,
hold of
we
Barbara.
are on Facebook.
Get a hold of Barbara and say, yes, I would like to help out. Where could you need me?
Yeah,
And
where do you want me
she's
to
collecting
be?
names, collecting a list of volunteers
Right.
now. There are perks. You know, you
Yeah,
do get special swag.
You get some
to
swag. You get
behind
some
the scenes.
food. You know, the
But-
merchants downtown
but-
and everywhere else donate.
But you're
going to
be an ambassador for Roswell for a couple days,
Mhm.
and that's going to be your big
Mhm.
thing. Whether you're manning one of the booths here or just running water to and fro or whatever they got you doing, every
Yeah.
little bit is your ambassador. And so come and volunteer. But also, and as the thing, and this is no different when the air race folks are here or when the UFO festival stuff is when we have this influx of people that have never been here before or don't know the things around here. We are the ambassadors. So
That's
so
right.
talk
Put
to
on
them.
your best smile.
If
and
you've got
greet
favorite
them.
places to eat,
Yeah,
tell them where
them.
those are
Yeah.
and invite them there. Or if you've got a favorite place to shop, share that wisdom with those folks that come
Yeah.
asking, what's there to do here?
Yeah, what is
can I
there to do
Yeah.
here? Don't ever say nothing because
Yeah.
there's a lot to do. And
It's like, what are you into?
what are you into? You
Yeah.
know, what do you want to do?
Yeah, you a
But-
history
but we-
person? Let me show you all these museums we got.
Yeah.
If you're into art, let me show you what's down here. If you're into hiking
Oh
and
yeah,
all
we have
that,
so
let
many
me show you some of the
great
parks we got
museums
nearby.
here.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to do here, but
Absolutely.
just keep in mind that we are going to try to start doing some things starting the 1st and 2nd and 3rd of July. So if you have something going on, even if you're not on the Main Street Drag, let us know
Absolutely.
because we're going to be promoting those things for you. Okay.
Absolutely. This is something.
So when people arrive early, because a lot of them arrive a week before the event, and they stay a week after the event. So let's give them something to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is, because we got, because 4th of July, if I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's a bit of a separation this year, isn't it, between the festival and 4th, or is it all rolled
No,
into one?
it's all into one.
Okay,
this
I
year.
can't remember.
Yeah.
I was trying to think if the 4th fell like in the middle of it.
No, the 4th is on a Friday.
Gotcha.
But this year we're opening up the event on Thursday. So some of the food trucks and some of
So it'll be
the-
right in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's
that's what it was. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
remember
what
if it was afterwards or before.
Yeah,
or
so
what.
we're going to be trying to set everything up on Thursday. So some of the vendors will already be set up. The streets will already be closed on Thursday,
Excellent.
Mike. So if I'm going to have the streets closed already because Friday's a holiday, they can't close up the streets on Friday, so they are closing up on
We'll get an extra
Thursday.
day of
So
of
hey,
festival,
if they're going to close it up, I'm going to use it, right?
Well, and that way you get an extra day, because this is invariably what happens at UFO Festival. You walk the area and you do all the shopping and stuff, but there's never enough time to eat all the things you want to eat.
That's right.
Like there's like a certain thing here, but you inevitably get full, or life happens and then you just never get back. Now you got an extra day to say, I keep missing that alien egg. I'm going to get it this time, or whatever it is that you're chasing after.
And you know what? This year we've got some really interesting things because, I'm having Crab Kings come down. Do you know we had some of their fish last year? If you like seafood,
I'm a seafood connoisseur.
Was great. And they want their same spot as they had last year, so they want to be kind of in the same area.
I'm going to be visiting.
And so come look for them. Those are people from Carlsbad. I've got people from Clovis coming. So come out, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of stuff happening.
As much as UFO Festival is about the aliens and the fun, it really is kind of
it's about our community,
a food lovers symposium, because it really is so many different food vendors and different types of. I mean, we have our local restaurants do great stuff, but then you bring in. That's when you try these unique, it's like when you turn on like Food Network and they do those Carnival Eat shows that they were here a couple of years ago for that. Because we have fair food, we have so much exotic foods that you would never see anywhere. Like no one's eating that fried thing in a normal world, but here at UFO Festival, you can try it. Yeah.
You go and try it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so lots to drink.
To me, that's as much fun as even if you're not into green men or gray men or whatever that stuff, if you love just the culture of food and the vendors, and there's so much of that at UFO Festival. So yes, if you want to get full nosedive into alien stuff and hang out at the Research Museum, all of that's available. But if you just kind of walk around and eat and try different things and just
there'll be lots of free things for kids to do. So if you have kids and you're like,
so much of that
I can't afford it. Oh no. We'll be having a lot of fun stuff for free for kids to do.
And it's all closed off so the kids can run around and not worry about
get running over.
They can run around
by a car.
The inflatables and all the stuff that's going on there.
I'll have bathrooms. I'll have security. So it'll be hopefully a very safe place.
As inevitably happens, kids always get separated. They're in a couple block corridor. We can get them wrangled in pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I get it. Every time there's a gathering of people, it's just like the fair. Every year a kid gets lost in the fair. It's not a question of if, it's when.
It's when, right? It's correct. And also, if you, like I said, I'm talking about the entertainment lineup. We do have an entertainment lineup going. However, if you're a local singer, band,
for
and
side
you say,
stage,
you know what, I'd like to be part of that UFO festival.
We got an extra day of time.
Give me a call.
More music available.
I will put you someplace because I've got 3 locations that I can put. Actually 4 if you think about it. If I include, and I have people coming, like I said, all the way from Las Cruces and Texas.
And I'm telling you, we want bands playing 24/7 because
we do.
Because when the music's going, that's the advertisement. People say, "Oh, you hear the music? Let's see." Yeah. Even people have no earthly idea. They just stumbled upon what's going on here.
Right.
That's why they found it, because there's a band sitting on the stage jamming out there.
So we've got, I'm saying country. We've got some Mexican music. We maybe have some. Just instrumentals.
Sure.
We have
it's a
army
whole
band coming. We've got brass. We've got jazz.
All tastes and types of music are on the stages over the course of the UFO
So help us
Festival.
out. If you're a local singer, please give me a call. Call Main Street Roswell. Our number is 575-914-8017. Or look us up on Facebook, Main Street Roswell.
If you're looking to make a presence in the music scene of Roswell, getting on a stage at the UFO Festival definitely could do it. Next thing you know, you could be, I'm not trying to say you're going to be the next, Taylor Swift, but what I am saying is you might find yourself having a lot of gigs in the Roswell area.
That's right.
Because they saw you up
Make
on the stage here.
Yeah. So, so we have a lot going on, Mike, and We're excited. We're still going to try to hold back a little bit on UFO. Maybe we'll talk about it maybe a little bit more next month.
Sure.
But in the meantime, we have a lot going on.
And if you want to be a
don't miss
vendor,
out.
now's the time. And then, of course, next Saturday is going to be a big downtown
It is
event
a big
here.
downtown.
Come hang out with the merchants and celebrate Easter. Bring the kids,
Mhm.
bring the family. Get ready to take pictures. Get ready to get Easter bunny visits. Get ready to
Yeah.
shop and eat and have Easter egg hunts. And it's all the Easter fun next Saturday here
That's
in
right.
the Main Street corridor.
That's right. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, come in. And of course, if you are a Main Street vendor or business and want to, have questions or anything, don't hesitate to reach out to Barbara. If, sometimes I know I get it. Sometimes you get out of the loop on certain things. You're like, I didn't know that was going on. And get a hold of Barbara. And
Hey, it happens to me, Mike.
yeah.
I see it on Facebook, and I was like, how did I miss that?
Yeah, and let her. And then also too, like we were talking about the volunteers for UFO Festival, but they need volunteers all the time. Even if it's not at board level, but if you're just wanting to be a part of the committees and some of the, and certainly if you're a Main Street business owner, we want you at all those meetings and things because it's your community. How the Main Street corridor goes is based on the people that work in it and live in it.
And you know what, Mike? Another thing that I think they need to remember is if you are, let's say, for instance, in this building, the J.P. White building, we've got some new hair cutting places in there. We've
Right
got
across the hall from me.
right here on my floor, on 4th floor,
I hear
we've
him
got a
buzzing all the
gentleman.
time.
He's doing haircuts. We've got people doing eyelashes. Well, guess what? If you're a merchant that is inside a building like the J.P. White building or the Bank of the Southwest building, and you're up on the 3rd or 4th
Need a
floor,
little marketing help.
guess what? You are in the Main Street corridor.
Absolutely.
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Come join our meetings. Come be a part of what we're doing
Absolutely.
downtown.
And
So
help
don't
get the
feel-
word out about it because I
Yeah.
get it. Because especially like
If you're kind of hidden up in the 4th
we have
floor,
this great haircut place here, but at the end of the day, I mean, he doesn't have a storefront, doesn't have a window
No.
to say, there's no impulse buying.
Right.
If you want to get a haircut at this place, you got to know about it and you got to kind of be in on it. And so
And they're-
Main Street,
yeah.
you guys can kind of help them. Let's get the word out a little bit
yeah,
more.
let's
and so,
market the
Yeah.
J.P. White building and some of the merchants
so
that
you're
are
not relying
here.
on the word of mouth of your own clientele to boost your business.
Yeah.
Let them help you do that. So, Barbara, is there anything we missed?
I don't think so, Mike.
Excellent. Well,
I think
and again,
we're good.
MainStreetRoswell.org is the website. You can find everything. Don't forget, Main Street Roswell has a Facebook page. You can, if you want to be a volunteer, have any questions about UFO Festival
Yes.
or any of that stuff, you can do there. And of course, you can go to the UFO Festival's website, the main page, which is I always mess it up.
UFOfestival.com.
Yeah, I always want to throw Roswell in there for some
Yeah,
reason.
UFOfestival.com.
That is the official, and that's everything UFO Galacticon.
Well, we are
everything.
just populating it. So if something's
it's
not
kinda
there
new.
yet,
It's kind of
just
it's
keep
a
looking.
little sparse at the moment,
Yes.
but as more things get added to
But
this
the
year's
link
festival.
to the vendors and food trucks is in there.
If you want to be a vendor at this year's UFO Festival, now is the time to get those
Yep,
turned in.
get 'em on.
The sooner you get it done, the better you get to lock in your spot. And like I said, get that so you can get all your ducks in a row, get all your paperwork filed, get whatever legalities you need to be
Yeah.
allowed to do this, making sure all that's set up. Now's the time to do that. If you're waiting until May or June to do that, you're really behind the eight
You're
ball
gonna
on
be
that.
behind.
So,
Yeah,
so
you
let's get
are.
her done now. So,
That's right.
good deal.
Well, thank you, Mike.
As always, appreciate the visit, Barbara, and anything else we can do to help, let us know.
Well, thank you so much.
Good deal, and stay dry this weekend.
Yep. Go have coffee.
There you go. That's right. Lots of coffee and lots of books and lots of
Hey, how about a
fireplaces.
donut?
Donut would be good too. I'd be down for a donut, like a bear claw, maybe a warm donut, like right out the
cinnamon roll.
Yeah, right out the oven donut.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. So,
Lots
thank
of good
you.
food.
That's right. Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Good thing it's
Bye-bye.
almost the end of the show. Now I can eat. All right, it is 9:53. Let's pause for news, weather update, and commercial break as well. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. Artesia police are investigating a shooting that took place early Thursday. A man and a woman were found wounded near West Clayton and South 11th Streets. This happened just after 4:30 in the morning. The names of the victims have not been released, but an Artesia police spokesperson said the man had to be flown to another hospital for treatment. The incident appears to have happened at a nearby home, but Commander Pete Quinones told the Daily Press that the situation was, quote, definitely not domestic violence related. He also said there was no evidence of a robbery or theft. Anyone with information is urged to contact Artesia Police. The city of Roswell is seeking public input for the city's comprehensive master plan. About 40 people attended the first public meeting on Wednesday. More public events are scheduled throughout the month of May. You can find out more details by going online to the City of Roswell homepage. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Other countries rip us off. We're getting lectured by those countries ripping us off, saying we're imposing tariffs on them and that they believe in free trade, when in fact they don't believe in free trade because there never was such a thing as free trade. There have been tariffs that have been applied to American industry, American farmers, American agriculture that have been going on for decades, but this institutionalized thinking, groupthink, brainwashing even, of the American people. Oh, no, we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to make them mad. We don't want to get them upset. It's about time we demand the respect that we deserve. It's really that simple.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Warning! Inflation is back on the rise. The national debt is spiraling out of control. The stock market has been at an all-time high, and wars continue to rage across the globe. Experts are predicting a massive economic crash for 2025, and you should be ready. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? Right now, you can get a free gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco, where you'll learn why tens of thousands of hardworking Americans and even the world's central banks are turning to precious metals to help protect and diversify their money. Get your free gold and silver kit from Goldco by visiting HannityGold.com or calling 855-815-GOLD. You could even receive up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Don't let your financial future slip through your fingers. Learn why so many Americans are diversifying with gold and silver today. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Both the Roswell Coyotes and Goddard Rockets were in baseball action yesterday. For Goddard, it was a doubleheader against Carlsbad that was actually moved up a couple of days. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but the possibility of inclement weather made them decide to reschedule that. So that took place in Carlsbad yesterday, and Carlsbad won both games, 11-1 in the first. The second game, it was a lot closer. Goddard got 5 strong innings on the mound from Cameron Brown, but still fell in the late going when Carlsbad won 3-2. Meanwhile, Roswell whooped up on Lovington 13-0. Savino Sanchez home run, 3 RBIs. Adrian Lucero 4 RBIs. Roswell's next in action today. They'll be making the trip to Santa Fe for a game at 3:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Author and minister Tim Keller said the following: "The Christian gospel is that I'm so flawed that Jesus had to die for me, yet I'm so loved and valued that Jesus was glad to die for me. This leads to deep humility and deep confidence at the same time. It undermines both swaggering and sniveling. I cannot feel superior to anyone, and yet I have nothing to prove to anyone. I do not think more of myself nor less of myself. Instead, I just think of myself less." This reminds me of one of the most quoted verses in the Bible. "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." These verses should motivate us to be grateful for what God has done for us, but it should also motivate us to action, to share that love with others around us. If you want to learn how to experience this great love from God, then join us as we learn to know Jesus better.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hey, Roswell, need a truck? You're in luck. Now is your time to buy a new Ford truck for a lot less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. For a limited time, get massive discounts on every new Ford and quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, plus 0% APR for 72 months and no payments for 90 days. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, so we're taking care of business. Big trucks, small trucks, work trucks, we've got them all for a lot less. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you, regardless of where you're at, for oil changes, tire rotation, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. Massive savings and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APRs 1389 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from native sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance to new loan. Subject to approval. Offers not combined.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Trump White House is applauding the latest job numbers.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said last month's addition of 228,000 jobs was well ahead of the market's expectation. She also pointed to an increase in transportation, construction, and warehousing employment. The White House statement was released against the backdrop of tariff-induced turmoil in the global financial markets.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton with that report. Also at townhall.com, at least 7 people have been killed in a wide swath of violent storms and tornadoes that have hit the South and Midwest. And it's not over. Officials are bracing for more severe weather and flooding in the coming days. The destruction is a result of a potent storm system that forecasters expect to bring life-threatening flash flooding each day through Saturday. More than 90 million people are at risk in an area stretching from Texas to Minnesota and Maine. Britain and France accuse Russian President Vladimir Putin of dragging his feet in ceasefire talks aimed at halting his country's invasion of Ukraine and demanded a swift response from Moscow after weeks of U.S. efforts to secure a truce. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma with a